Hello and welcome to Alumni Field, the site of Ontario football conference action here on we-tv.ca. My name is Dominic Pop, and we're joined by our color commentator, our football doctor, Badia Kwas. And Badia, what a great day for football. It's a little bit overcast, but it's cool. And at this time of year, this is what you expect, don't you?
100%. And the best thing about today is it doesn't appear the wind is going to be any kind of factor. The players are going to determine it any direction, so that opens up both offenses for the pass and the special teams. And the whole works. It's a gorgeous day, as you said.
Yeah, there you can see the Fratmen are getting ready for this huge game, the Ontario Football Conference Championship on the line here this afternoon. The winner gets an automatic berth to the Canadian Bowl, the national championship, and they will also host that game. So, it goes without saying, if you can't get excited for this one, you shouldn't be here.
Oh, absolutely. I probably, as a player, wouldn't have slept last night, knowing full well you have an early start and you want to get after it. You're absolutely right. Everything's on the line here. You have the Canadian Bowl on the line. You want to be the conference champion, and this is the heated rivalry in the Ontario Football Conference over the last handful of years. So if you can't get excited for your own rival, let alone you add the excitement of the OFC Championship and the opportunity to host the Canadian Bowl, I don't know where you are in terms of the football world.
Yeah, you're not on this planet, that's for sure. Let's take a look at some of the numbers heading into this game. First, the regular season. This is how it ended up. The Fratmen went on a 7-game winning streak, of course, losing their first game to the inter-league play. They lost to the Edmonton Huskies that one game, but throughout the season in the OFC, they were perfect, and what a streak for them, including a victory in Hamilton. You can see Hamilton finishing second at 5-3, but that victory in Hamilton was huge.
It was huge. It was hard-earned as well, in the sense that it was probably the only game that they had to play 4 quarters of contested football. That is a concern moving forward, I know, for Coach Lachance, especially against a talented Hamilton team that rounded out the season pretty well, and they are the second-best team clearly in the conference, and they always put a good battle here against Windsor.
Let's take a look at some of the season numbers, as, of course, the officiating staff. We'll get to them a little bit later on here, but the numbers, the season totals, this is what the numbers looked like during this season. First downs, again, the edge goes to the Fratmen there. Passing yardage, 60 yards better were the Fratmen. Rushing yards, the Fratmen, again, leading in that category. They led in all the categories, even in penalties. Maybe that's where you don't want to lead, but just the same, pretty solid numbers. The one thing we have to factor in here, though, Badi, is that the Fratmen technically played one less game. The one game against Niagara was forfeited, so they don't have those numbers. And you can see here what the average is, because we took the 7 games that were actually played for the Fratmen and got those average numbers, and their numbers are still significant. But that one game that they didn't play, obviously the numbers would have been even better.
Absolutely. The numbers in that game, that's one of the ones where you pad your stats and you get some of those extra numbers. Hopefully that might make the difference between Conference All-Star and maybe League MVP and something like that. But that said, both these teams bring the one thing you want coming into a championship game, and that's balance. Both have 3-digit passing and running attacks, and you're going to need to be able to do both in a championship level play, and especially moving forward to the Canadian Bowl.
If we can bring those season averages up again, guys, out in the production area, if they could bring those season average stats up again for us, I just want to take a couple of looks at a couple of the key numbers in there. But you look at the rushing yards and the passing yards, of course, Brandon Riem, just an outstanding campaign. But is there anything there that really gives the Fratmen perhaps an edge going into this game?
To me, it's the very first stat. It's the 21 first downs. When you can control the number of first downs, and the number is always 20. Having coached with Coach Lachance, being a longtime coach here, if you can get 20, 25 first downs a game, you are now in control up front with your linemen. And if they do get in excess of 20 first downs this game, they will likely win this game. And I bet you that's the one stat that Coach Lachance is going to be marking. He wants a dozen in the first half. If he has a dozen, he's probably saying we're going to have at least 21 points, and we're probably going to have a lead.
All right. These two teams, as mentioned earlier, as we look at the Fratmen getting ready, going through their warm-up paces, these two teams met the one time. It was in Brantford, actually, at the Wayne Gretzky Complex, and it was way back on September 16th. The Fratmen coming away with a 32-21 victory in that game. But it was Hamilton actually leading at halftime here, Buddy.
Yeah, Hamilton did lead, and they have talent. They have perimeter and skill players. They have a quarterback who is more than capable of extending plays, throwing it down the field. The one thing that they have to be able to, the Fratmen have to be able to take advantage of is their size. They are a little bit bigger, and if their bigs play big, then they can control the line of scrimmage and get those first downs in the numbers they want, and hopefully not have to trail at any point during this game.
All right, as we look at those numbers again from that one meeting this season, and I don't know how much stock you put into those numbers for this game, but obviously it was well over a month and a half ago almost that they played this game. So you can really say two different teams at this point, Biddy.
Absolutely. You are always different. Early in the season, you're trying to feel out and get your personality going. And that's both teams, quite frankly. And by the time you get to playoffs, you've now at least established a little bit of your identity. Are you going to commit more to the pass now, or are you going to be more to the run? Because early in the season, you're trying to find the balance. But by the game plan for a conference final, you have to commit to what you do best. So you can take all those stats out and you can say, listen, if you're Hamilton and our best player is our all-star quarterback, we have to put the ball in his hands and let him throw the ball 45 times to try to win the game. And if that's the strategy they have, throw these stats out because it's now championship, win or lose. Season's over if you don't win.
The one stat we saw there at the bottom, though, 135 penalty yards against the Fratmen. I don't think Coach LaChance, he wants them to be aggressive, but certainly you can't have that total here today.
Yeah, discipline is always going to be critical in any kind of championship game. The heated competition, the rivalry, people are going to be amped up, but you can't take the unnecessary type penalties. There's always going to be a hold here or there. There's always going to be that block in the back on a special team that at every level there's always a flag for something like that. Those things are really out of your control. It's the ones that are strictly based on passion. You cannot take an objectionable conduct. You can't take a late hit out of bounds. And those are the kind of things that you have to keep out of minimum.
Yes, indeed. Let's take a look at some of the players, some of the numbers there. If we're going to start first with the rushing leaders, as we'll look at the Fratmen first. D'Angelo Knox, the premier runner in the OFC. I love watching this guy run the ball. His full value for his, and again, playing one last game here, but outstanding numbers. He's the go-to guy, no question about it. But you look at Brandon McCraney and Jacoby Jones, and then the quarterback Brandon Riem had a pretty good year running the ball. This is a team that's deep in that area, Buddy.
Absolutely, and last week you saw Jacoby take over in the second half because D'Angelo got banged up just a little bit, but Brandon Riem, like you said, he has 7 touchdowns on the year on the ground. They have a multitude of people who are more than capable of handling the rock.
Hamilton has their own decent running game. David Adeniran, of course, had a fine campaign. As you can see, his numbers very solid. Brendan Betancourt, Jake Marquette, their quarterback, with some solid numbers, and Ryan Hussett. Those are the guys that will do the running duties for Hamilton. How important is their running game here, Buddy?
It's going to be extremely important. The one thing that they want from Adeniran is his speed. He's one of these types who, if he does get into some open space, he can make you pay for being out of position. So if the Fratmen can keep him near or at the line of scrimmage, they'll be okay. But this kid is fast, and if he gets outside, he will run on this fast turf. Very
talented receiving cores on both teams as well, and we take a look at some of those numbers. First, we'll start with the receiving core for the Fratmen, of course. Again, you look at the numbers. Riem was very busy man throwing the ball, but two guys that really stand out to me, Omar Hay-Williams and Devin Woods, outstanding campaigns. And then you got pretty good support in Degasse and Marcus Cooper.
100%. There's all kinds of talent and all kinds of ball handlers out there in the perimeter. I'm going to throw a little bit of a twist at you. I'm going to try my best Tony Romo right now. Look out for D'Angelo Knox in the passing game. Coach LaChance told me he believes he's one of the best pass receivers he has on his team. So watch him for some mismatches out of the backfield in the passing game to add to that complement of 4 outstanding receivers you just saw on the graphic.
All right, Hamilton has a outstanding receiver in Trey Ivey, who had huge numbers, as you can see. Giovanni Ellis, Emmett Putton, Angus Button put together a really nice receiving core for the Hamilton Hurricanes, Buddy.
Yeah, and Coach Morency is going to have his hands full right now. Ivy is big, is fast, is physical, can make all the plays. The one thing you want to do is hopefully take him out, bracket him, double cover him. Don't let him beat you. He can beat you. He's capable of beating you, and if you let him, he will.
And that's where I guess you see a guy like Spencer Trenier maybe getting set up with Ivy there throughout the game, Buddy.
Absolutely. Trenier was probably going to get into some press coverage, maybe be physical with him at the line of scrimmage, but you might want to rotate one of your safeties over the top of that just to give that extra little bit of cushion so that let somebody else beat you. That's, I guess, the Bill Belichick philosophy. Let somebody else, not your number one.
The quarterbacks, you can argue both ways, I guess. Marquette did receive the awards, but boy, oh boy, Brandon Riem, this guy is such a special athlete. And you could see Brandon had played one less game. And there were a number of games Riem was pulled out early because Coach LaChance not wanting to run up the score. Brandon Riem certainly, in all the years I've been around, but maybe one of the best quarterbacks I've ever watched.
Yeah, and his evolution has come strictly from practice, watching him at 3 years of development here behind Austin Lumley, and then him take over the team this year, as you see him in our graphic there. He is outstanding. He has led the troops. They all trust him. He's made great decisions, and Coach LaChance has put him in a great position to succeed, and hopefully it translates today. And like you said, they are both deserving. It's hard not to see how Brandon wasn't that all-star quarterback based on the stats.
Jake Marquette, in his own right for the Hamilton Hurricanes. Again, outstanding numbers, very consistent through the season. He's an experienced guy. He knows what it takes to win. He's going to have to be that leader today, Buddy.
Yeah, the number one thing that I've been impressed with this young man is he takes care of the ball. If he takes care of the ball, as the graphic shows, he's only thrown 3 interceptions, hasn't fumbled the ball. The key here is going to be if he takes care of the ball, they have a chance. If he doesn't take care of the ball, as you see him in the graphic, he's got some moxie. I saw him out in pregame. He's jumping around, catching, throwing, doing everything. He has guts. He's got that skill set to match that guts. As long as he takes care of the ball, he will keep his team in this game.
All right, so those are the numbers. That sets this game up for our viewers at home. Coach Jason Hayes, Coach Mike LaChance chomping at the bit to get this one going. It's been a week of a lot of talking and maybe even a few jabs here and there, but it's been a great week of setting up for this OFC title game. When we come back after the break, Badia Kwas and myself, yours truly, will have the call of the first quarter, the opening kickoff. This is AKO Fratmen football on we-tv.ca.
I learn by doing. I learn by reacting to a situation. St. Clair puts me directly into my industry. I'm dealing with real patients, real life situations. It's not just theory. It's not book work anymore. I choose to take control of my future and my path to St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
There it is, the Teddy Morris Trophy, symbolic of the OFC Championship. That's what's up grabs for today. We are underway, the OFC title game here at Alumni Field. The AKO Fratmen battling with the Hamilton Hurricanes, and right away the Fratmen with a huge return. This is Jalen Butcher all the way down into the Hamilton end of the field, down to about the 20-yard line. You couldn't have asked for a better start right there for the Fratmen, Buddy.
Absolutely. They tried a little bit of a short moonshot type to their sideline, and Jalen Butcher was well aware of that, in a perfect position to field it, and like you said, can't ask for better starting field position than the 23-yard line going in.
1st and 10 for the Fratmen, and they're already threatening as we're just seconds into this game between the Hurricanes and the Fratmen, the OFC title game here on we-tv.ca. Dominic Papa along with Badia Kwas. Brandon Riem, number 1, the starting quarterback for the Fratmen, working with great field position. He takes the snap, hands off to D'Angelo Knox, number 6. And right away he's met at the line, maybe squeezed out a yard there.
Yeah, they just tried a simple little ISO play. Right off the get-go, lead block from Jacoby right to D'Angelo. They picked up about 2 yards there, moving it to the 21. I know early in the game, Coach LaChance has spoken to me and said he wants to establish the line of scrimmage with his bigs. No surprise that they went for the quick little inside, just a basic lead-type play.
You're right, Buddy. They give them 2 yards. 2nd and 8 is the play here. Coming out wide, far right is Omar Hayes Williams, number 7. On the left side is Marcus Williams Cooper. And Riem wrapped up and goes down. A huge play by the Hurricane defense. Getting the sack will be number 51, Anthony Federico.
And that's his second tackle of the game already. He made the first stop on the inside run, and then this time around he collapsed the pocket. Brandon patiently stayed in for the first second, came off his first read, and then tried to escape out the right, and Federico went in there, and he was able to get that. As you have our officials for today's game include Alex Jemmy, who is wearing the white hat. He is the referee. The umpire is Bruce Carter. The head linesman is Brent Webster. The side judge will be Todd Whited. Chris Patton will be the line judge. Your back judge is Jay Schroeder. And Kirk Hayes is your field judge.
Number 29, Andrew Beaton into the game for the Fratmen, as we're going to get a timeout called by Windsor, as just a little bit of confusion getting this field goal set up.
Yeah, after Brandon got sacked, he's the holder on the extra points and field goals, and he came off to the sideline, probably wanted to talk to Coach LaChance right away to see what went wrong, and didn't realize that rather than calling for a punt unit, they were bringing out the field goal unit. As you see, number 1 in our graphic right there is holding at the 36-yard line. 36-yard attempt here, no win. And the kick is up, and it's wide right. The distance was there, but didn't make it through. The Hurricanes run it out of the end zone to about their 5-yard line. And for all our fans, if you don't know Canadian football, that ball went into the end zone, so they're going to advance that out to the 20-yard line without having to concede the single. So that's where the Hurricanes will scrimmage. They'll be 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line, as the Fratmen weren't able to capitalize with any kind of points on that opening drive. Unfortunate, Biddy, when you think of that run back right off the kickoff and they couldn't take advantage of it. Those are things that might come back and haunt you down the road here in this game. Absolutely. Anytime you're in the scoring zone, you have to walk away with points. 1, 3, 7, whatever the number is, points are a must, and they're always at a premium, and they're doubled even in a championship setting. Give marks to the Hamilton defense, so they stepped it up and shut out the Fratmen. Jake Marquette hands off here. First play of scrimmage for the Hurricanes offense. Maybe picks up, looks like about 2-3 yards there. Or I should say maybe a yard. And you'll see on the replay here, there were hands on him right away, and that looked like it was Adam Slickborough who got his hands on Anderin right away. A very capable back with some speed, so that you want to get your hands and force him between the tackles, just like the Fratman defense did there, and bringing up that 2nd and longer situation. Yeah, we'll call it 2nd and we'll say 9 for the Hurricanes. The one gentleman you want to watch is number 15, Trey Ivey, an outstanding receiver for the Hurricanes. And Marquette looks his way. He gets the pass even though it was deflected. Ivey hauls it in, and immediately 3 or 4 Fratmen wrap him up and take him down, but a first down for the Hurricanes. So you saw Marquette go to his guy right there. Yeah, maybe just a little bit too much respect on that first one. You'll see here in the replay, as he catches the ball, there was no one within 5 yards of him. You have 2 guys there, so they were indeed bracketing him, and it did look like they had Spencer Trenier, that would have been Tarek Bonus and Jalen Butcher in the area, 2 and 9. But my guess is that was a blown coverage. Somebody should have been under, and then somebody should have been over. They both should have been at the same depth. 1st and 10 now for the Hurricanes at their own 37. That handoff goes for a couple of yards. Yeah, and it looked like it was Carter Wood who came off the left edge and forced that play to really squeeze in tight to the interior of the Fratman defense. So a short gain there, but you know Hamilton's going to want to try to keep some semblance of balance that they've shown, because between their speedy running back and Adeniran and Ivy, they want to be able to mix and match both of them and get them both involved early. Adeniran carried that one there for 3 yards, so 2nd and 7 we're calling it. From their own 40 are the Hurricanes. Marquette sets up, gets the pass off. It's caught. I believe it was number 11, Giovanni Ellis, hauling that one in. He was tackled immediately by Elijah Blythe. Yeah, and that was a good tackle right there. That was a little bit more press coverage with, in this case, knowing where the downs box is, making sure he didn't drive that hook route past the first down box, and they come up 3 yards short as it was only a 4-yard completion, and that's a punting situation for the visitors. So the Fratman defense steps up, does their job. Back deep, bad snap, gets the kick off as he's hit. But the Fratmen again will have outstanding field position to start this offensive series at the Hamilton 44-yard line. What a tremendously lucky play that the ball even got back to the 40. Like, Slickbore came in, and whenever there's a missed snap and there's a bouncing ball, the kicker loses his protection. And then you still have the whole, you try to get the kickoff, but you have to give 5 yards. The ball didn't go past the line of scrimmage, so the Fratmen jump on it right away. I'm shocked it wasn't even blown dead immediately, because that's when injuries happen. But like you said, excellent field position.
They actually spot the ball at the Hamilton 43. So the Fratmen, again, with great offensive field position to start this drive. Riem looking downfield, looking right, has a man in the area. He finds his big target, Devon Woods. A perfect pass by Riem, and Woods has it inside the 10 down to about the 8-yard line.
And in our screen, you're going to see one clear-cut difference between the Fratman offensive perimeter and the Hamilton defensive perimeter, and that's the size. Brendan's going to put this up to his big, tall receiver, Devin Woods. And as you see, as it's coming into our graphic, there is at least 4 inches on them. And when you include that range of jumpability, these big athletes between him and Omar Hayes-Williams and Benji DeGoose, a lot of size.
First and goal for the Fratmen at the 8. Riem, play action. Now chased out. Riem rolling left, looking downfield, gets the pass off, has a man loose. That was, again, Woods. But Riem just couldn't hit him with the pass as he was feeling the heat. Chasing him down was number 17, Adam Evans.
Yeah, and here on the replay, again, it's a little bit of pressure from the top side, and that's number 51 once again for the visitors. That's Anthony Federico gets the pressure. Escaped by Brandon Riem, but he just put a little bit too much air on that as Devin Woods was wide open, and that should have been a walk-in touchdown.
9:37 to go here in the first quarter. The Fratmen threatening to open it up as they are second and goal from the Hamilton 8-yard line. I bet you Riem would like to have that pass back, Buddy.
Oh, absolutely.
High snap, Riem handles it. Now he's flushed out, and again, the Hamilton defense steps it up. That time, it looked like it was Stefan Evangelisto coming through the line there.
And they bring the blitz right up the middle. It was initially picked up in the sense that it was a chop block, but as soon as Brandon had to double clutch and that was taken away, the running back did a good job of at least getting his man down. But when you have to double clutch and you can't get to your second read, bad things happen. In this case, a sack. That's the second sack surrendered as the Fratmen have to try looks like a 22-yard field goal. 22-yard attempt here. Snap's good. The kick is up, and this time it's through. So the Fratmen do get on the scoreboard first, thanks to the field goal by Andrew Beaton, a 22-yarder. That makes it the Windsor Fratmen 3, the Hamilton Hurricanes nothing. 8:55 to go here in the first quarter. And I guess kind of a moral victory there for the Hurricanes, though, again, Badi.
Oh, that wasn't a moral victory. That was more like a real victory. As you see, one of our presenting partners here, Harold Remark, and we'd like to thank him and Royal LePage for their help in presenting us Ontario Football Conference Championship play here on we-tv.ca.
Harold, a huge supporter of Fratman football, as well as a lot of other athletics in our area, and certainly a big shout-out to Harold and gratitude for all of his continued support here on we-tv.ca. Marquette takes the snap. He's looking for Ivy again. That pass may have been deflected as he got the throw off.
And that coverage looked a lot more like what I would have expected. That was Blythe underneath on the coverage to Ivy, and then over the top of that, then you did see Tarek Bonus in the deep perimeter, so they can't do a little out and up. Good pressure from the Fratmen in the sense that they occupied all the linemen. It looked like Slickmore was double teamed there, forcing the quarterback to get rid of it pretty quick.
2nd and 10 for the Hurricanes. Marquette's pass goes high and out of bounds. Looks like he was looking for Austin Wagner that time.
It looked like Marquette was confused on that one. He came off his initial read and then realized like the Fratman defense is not in something that I think he has seen before on film. That looked like it was a two-man across the board, something that I don't really see a lot of myself from the Fratman. And he just decided I better throw it into our bench, to our coach, to make sure that we don't pick it off and we'll just try to punt.
Actually a smart play when you think about it, Buddy. So the kicking team is in for the Hurricanes. A low, short kick. Spencer Trenier picks it up for the Fratmen. Flag on the play. We'll see what that's all about. Trinity gets out to about the AKO 49-yard line. That's where the Fratmen take over the ball on the offense. They lead it 3-0, but we do have a flag on the play. Let's see what referee Alex Jemmy is going to call here.
Well, now there's 2 flags because there was the initial flag for the no yards, but Alex Jemmy just threw another one, and there must have been talk.
Okay. Just awaiting the call here from referee Jemmy.
No yards, bouncing ball, 5-yard penalty against the defense. Objectionable conduct against Black, 10-yard penalty, first down.
2 huge calls against the Hurricanes. That helps the Fratmen cause, and that ball moves into the end of the Hamilton end of the field now as it goes down to about the Hamilton 46-yard line. So again, great field position. Some of the fans here, a very cool day here in southwestern Ontario, but a perfect day for football. 1st and 10 for the Fratmen at the Hamilton 46. Riem looking left, goes downfield. Is complete. Let's see who comes up with it, though, as there's a fight for the ball.
Yeah, they're going to give the ball to Benji DeGoose here.
Yep.
And Benji went up and got it and had his hands on him. When they went down to the ground, it was a rattle. And anytime the offensive player does have initial possession with it, they're always going to give the benefit to the offense. And you see Benji has the ball, and then as they're on the ground, he gets it ripped away from him. But that was a good battle for the ball, and Benji DeGoose went up and got it again. Another mismatch. I'd like to see him maybe get his hands up a little higher to field that ball, but still came down with the catch and sets him up in prime real estate.
So the Fratmen again deep into the Hamilton end of the field. 1st and 10 from the Hurricane 12-yard line. They spot it. Riem sets up the offense. Hands off this time. A good run there by the power running back Jacoby Jones.
Yeah, and the irony of it is I think he's smaller than D'Angelo, but he runs very powerfully. You'll see on our replay, he presses that hole, keeps his feet driving forward, gets one more block from his receiver as he marches that ball inside the 5-yard line.
Jones looks like he was claiming that his face mask, there was a pull on his face mask, but no call from the officials. 2nd and we'll say about a yard here, less than a yard. The nose of the football, perhaps. Riem goes right under center here. I'm guessing a quarterback keeper, perhaps here, Badi?
I would say so. It's a safe play in Canada.
Yeah, Riem decides he doesn't like what he sees here, so he's going to talk it over with head coach Mike Lachance.
Yeah.
Interesting, Badi.
And that's their second timeout. They're out.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no more timeouts for the rest of the first half, which we still got 21 minutes to go here, so you never know when you're going to need those things back. They have to burn one because of a special teams lapse. Now, it presumably looked like they were trying to quarterback sneak it, which should be a no-brainer. Just get under center and wedge it forward, and they have to take a timeout. Now, that said, you are in that scoring zone. You need a yard. You can get a first down to get 3 more downs to try to drive it in. The points are going to matter, so I understand why you call a timeout. You have to score a touchdown here. Field goal's no good. Because, quite frankly, this could, if everything had went well for the Fratmen, they could be up 21-0 right now.
Exactly, yeah. You look at the field position they've had to start with all 3 of their offensive series here so far, and they've got 3 points to show for it. Definitely they want to make sure here. Riem keeps it. Is he going to get in? Touchdown, Fratmen! Brandon Riem on the left side squeaks in.
Yeah, and that was a good job of Brandon using his eyes before the snap even happened. He looked for the alignment, understood where it was, and you'll see on the replay, and he knows he has big DeMarcus Ware to his left, and he realizes, you know what, I'm just going to follow my big boy, and I'm going to just try to bury this into the end zone, and that's exactly what he did. He knifed under, as you see them trying to set up for the extra point.
So the Fratmen make sure this time that they don't squander the tremendous field position in which they started with. Beaton's point after is good. It's through. That makes it the Windsor AKO Fratmen 10. The Hamilton Hurricanes no score with 6:16 remaining in the first quarter. break it down, Badi, for us. Again, the long pass, I think, though, to Degasse is the real key play of that drive.
100%, and it's trying to take advantage of the size of their offensive perimeter. You really go down the list and you say to yourself, you have Devin Woods, who's an all-star, Omar Hayes-Williams, who's an all-star, and then you have Benji DeGoose, who is capable of being an all-star. All three of them are tall, rangy receivers, and you try to get vertical on them. 2 vertical passes set up the Fratmen deep into the territory, and they've gotten 10 points out of it.
Yep. So a good start here for the Fratmen, even though they've squandered 2 offensive series. They still have taken advantage of the other opportunities, a field goal and now a touchdown, the difference in this one. And the Hamilton offense really, but even though we're still in the first quarter here, as you look at the Hamilton bench, really you think they have to get something going here now, because if they continue to give the Fratmen great field position here, it's going to just become, that hole's just going to become that much more deeper. That kickoff bobbled, it's still loose, and finally the Hurricanes jump on it.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, there was an offsides. I saw it. We were lined up right down the 45-yard line from our booth, so I saw that. There was a Fratman coverage guy offsides, and yes, it was booted. It goes right off of Anderson's foot, and then it bobbles around. It's a free ball anyway. It doesn't even have to be touched on onside, but they recovered it nonetheless, but they do have a penalty.
All right. So we'll do the kick thing all over again.
And that's a fortunate break for Hamilton, because if you do catch this ball in the air and you fall forward, you should easily be able to cross the 35-yard line here, as opposed to where they landed on it the last time, which was right around their own 20.
Just a slight breeze, nothing that's going to really affect, I don't think, any kicking in today's game. And that one hangs up pretty good. Here's Adeniran, the speedy running back for the Hurricanes, taking that kick. He gets out to about the Hurricane 40-yard line. That's where they'll start 1st and 10, and there's a late flag.
Yeah. And on paper, Dominic, that's a 5-yard penalty, but in actuality, it's a 20-yard penalty, because they would have had them pinned right around the 21-yard line.
Unnecessary roughness. Late hit. Wait. 15-yard penalty. First down.
There's the call from referee Jemmy. Unnecessary roughing.
And you compound that, now the ball's going to be spotted pretty much at midfield. And now you've really given the Hurricanes an opportunity to get a quick strike, as you see Coach LaChance on our screen.
First and 10, Hamilton. Right at the midfield stripe. Jake Marquette in the shotgun. 3 receivers on each side. He airs one out. There's a man loose here. Hauling it in for the Hurricane that time is Angus Button, number 29, I believe it is.
Yeah, they just run a little corner route. We call that a smash route from the slot. And he got on the high shoulder of the defender, and he was able to turn him out as the corner is occupied. And that looks like it's Blythe. That's a mismatch for the visitors. They took advantage of it, as you have a linebacker who's in coverage, and that was Quentin Earhart who was in coverage against an inside slot receiver, and that you got to expect your receiver to win that every time.
Ball at the Fratman 27-yard line. A huge play for the Hurricanes. They have 1st and 10 now. Threatening to get back into the game here are the Hurricanes. There's the pass to the sideline. Again, complete, and they're calling it out of bounds at the 4-yard line. Again, I believe that was Button coming up with the reception, though.
Yeah, in a similar concept, in the sense that they're going to do this little out and up here. He's the 29 Button's going to go up, out, and then up the sideline, and it's just the linebacker who has to expand out, and he's not as comfortable in coverage as you would expect a defensive back.
What a well-thrown ball by Marquette, though. There were 2 Fratman players in the neighborhood. He threaded the needle nicely.
The only spot where his guy can either catch it or it's incomplete.
1st and goal for the Hurricanes at the Fratman 4-yard line. Just under 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. There's the pass to the end zone. That goes incomplete. The intended receiver looked like Emmett Putt.
Yeah, and this time Coach Morency dialed up some blitz up. He had Adam Chin come right up the middle, and Marquette had no time to set, as you see him get planted right in the chest, looked like a clean hit, and he was just hoping to get some immediate pressure and get him thinking about his next throw.
Second and goal at the 4-yard line for the Hurricanes. They're down 10. Marquette was going to run, but he eludes a couple, and now he fumbles the ball. No, they're saying he was down already, but I believe it was Slickmore that got to him first, but he...
Yeah, that's your defensive player of the year and your lineman of the year. He has been outstanding, and if they're not going to double team him, that's what's going to happen. He was there first, and they're going to call him down in the grasp. That was awfully close.
Oh, boy, that was close. Wow.
When it comes to the quarterback, they're always going to protect him. He was going down. They're always going to err on the side of caution, but that was a quarterback draw. That was a design run, and the blocks just did not hold up at all, and the quarterback paid for that. And like you said, wow, because that just as easily could have been a fumble and a likely scoop and score the other way.
So the field goal unit comes in for Coach Jason Hayes.
Kicking team.
Now Hamilton calls a timeout.
Well, good thing there's no such thing as challenges in the CJFL here, because we were, 11 minutes into the game, and there's 3 timeouts already off the board, and Hamilton has 1 left. And again, this is a special teams one. The holder wasn't out again.
It looks like the holder is going to be number 23, Emmett Putt. Here's the kick. It's up. And it's good. So that gets the Hurricanes on the board with 4 minutes to go exactly here in the first quarter. It's the Windsor Fratmen 10, the Hamilton Hurricanes 3.
And it is still
a good response.
A very good response, all things considered. For Hamilton, they really have to be thinking, like, we're still in this game simply because the Fratmen were inside the 20-yard line 3 times and have only walked away with 10 points. And that series there was compounded by 2 penalties. The Fratmen first were offside on the first kickoff, and then you had a roughing the passer afterwards.
Again, don't forget to check out we-tv.ca. A number of good programs ongoing. We Now is a great way to find out what's happening in and around our city and county. A lot of good special people coming into the studio to talk about what they have going on. So check out We Now on we-tv.ca. First and 10 for the Fratmen. They scrimmage from their own 35-yard line. Riem goes right, finds Knox. Knox now hauls it in, looking for some blocks, and he does a good job picking up some good yardage. He's probably about 3 yards short of the first down. We'll give him 7 there.
And for a running back, he just looks so natural catching the ball. The ball gets out to him, easily handles it. No question about it. He's got these soft hands. You barely hear it hit his hands, and he weaves his way forward for, like you said, about a 7-yard gain, bringing up a second in mid-range.
They're going to call it 2nd and 4, actually, so they give Knox 6 there. Takes the snap high, gets it down, airs it out, and he finds Degasse. Degasse with some room now. Degasse down to the 20, 15 to the 10-yard line. Flag on the play, but the Fratmen again threatening to put more points on the board here.
And this is something I spoke to Coach LaChance with. You'll see Benji DeGoose just going up the B seam, and Brandon sets his feet, throws it up to his man, and the defender just slips, and it looks like he reached for his knee right away, and he's being tended to right now. But you see Benji DeGoose come in, and he goes up the field, and he gets it, and there's a face mask. Clearly, they're going to walk the full 15 up. This is going to be at the 1-yard line after you add the face mask to this, and the Fratmen are going to be set in prime real estate. And there was the primary defender on the play who had looked like his foot got stuck right in the turf as he tried to turn, and he's reaching, looking at his knee, and looks like up into the hamstring area as well.
Unnecessary roughness.
You never want to see that, but he fell right away. That was an immediate
penalty takes the ball to the 1-yard line.
That
First
freed
down.
up Degasse to haul in that pass and set the Fratmen up with a great scoring potential here. As Badie mentioned, the ball has been moved down to the 1-yard line.
Yeah, and with Benji, you're going to try to take away Devin Woods. Devin Woods is the all-star. He's got 7 touchdowns. But we saw in the pregame graphics that you also have Omar Hayes-Williams, who Omar is tremendous, and he has 5 touchdowns to go with it, as we see the players helping their teammate, the Hurricanes helping their
Zach
teammate.
Sibley, number 31, Badie.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how this transpires. It doesn't look like he put any weight on it, so you would expect his return at this point, at best, questionable.
Yeah, it doesn't look good, that's for sure.
So the Fratmen, 4th time, Dominic, 4th time in the scoring zone.
Yep. Right now they have 10 points to show for it. A good response again to the Hamilton field goal here as the Fratmen look to tack on more points. Riem goes right under center here. And he's going to keep it just like he did last time, but a good push by the Hurricane keeps him out of the end zone. Riem's saying he made it in, but no signal of that kind from the officials.
Yeah, you'll see here on the replay that the Hurricanes did crash all the way off the end there. The Fratmen lined up with a tight end. They moved Adam Slickport to the right tight end there, and they were unable to get some interior push, which allowed the edge rush to come in and wrap Brandon up and bring up a second down and 1. Or in goal from the 1.
Riem again goes right under center. And this time he keeps. They're still fighting. I haven't seen anything yet from. Touchdown, Fratmen! As Riem hands the ball to the official, said, I'm in.
Yeah,
Some
that one
pushing and shoving here afterwards.
Yeah, that one was a little easier for me to sort of guess because I saw 3 Fratmen offensive linemen's bellies in the blue. Once I see Fratmen linemen, their bellies in the blue,
there
it is. That ball is
across.
clearly across. He's sitting on top of one of his teammates right now. So whenever I see great surge from an offensive line and their bellies down right on the blue, you got to figure the quarterback followed in behind.
That makes it 16-3 for the Fratmen on the Riem touchdown. The point after coming up here, but there's a discussion, as you can see, inside the 5-yard line. Referee Alex Jemmy, I'm sure telling the guys, look, pay attention to the whistles. No extracurricular stuff is needed here.
There's a lot at stake for both these teams. Unlike years past, and there you see Coach LaChance right there. Unlike years past, this was the last game of the year. The Ontario Football Conference has rejoined the CJFL, and there's a national championship to be had.
Yep. The point after from Beaton is up and through. That makes it the Windsor AQ Fratmen 17. The Hamilton Hurricanes 3. 2:04 to go here in the first quarter. A very entertaining quarter of football, I might add, as the Fratmen have come out looked pretty good. As Badee mentioned, they've had, 5 cracks?
4. That's their
cracks,
fourth time in the
cracks
red zone.
In the red zone. So the Hurricanes made it down once, and they took advantage of it, getting a field goal.
Brandon's a little upset. His shirt was ripped. They all these receivers and quarterbacks, they're fashion. They're all about fashion. Us linemen in the trenches, I just need clothes that fit.
There you
Fashion
go.
isn't the F word I'm looking for in clothing. It's fit.
Here's the kick from Beaton. Again, mishandled by the Hurricanes. It's still loose. The ball is free and finally scooped up. But the Fratmen had a shot at it there for a moment. The Hurricanes really having difficulties handling some of these kicks.
Yeah, they're just off right now. This is miscommunication. You get both guys going. There's usually a one guy who's me, you. They're both on top of each other. And those are your 2 all-stars. That's Ivy and Adeniran.
Yep.
One of them has to be the me guy or you. And that's it. You're calling it. Me. If not, you're telling your partner it's him. Something's wrong.
The Hurricanes do dodge a bullet there. They do recover the ball. They'll start the offense from their own 26-yard line. They're down a couple of touchdowns. 1:45 counting down here in the first quarter. Marquette, quick hitch pass over here. Looks like he found Angus Button again. Button, a good job of getting some much-needed yardage.
And I've already noticed one quick change. It looks like Coach Morency has put in a little bit more of a dime package. He's brought an extra defensive back in there. It was good coverage. Right call just has to be made. The tackle has to be there, and that's not Tarek Bonus, number 9, who missed the initial tackle. And instead of it being a minimal gain, you had to have Adam Chin, the linebacker, have to scrape all the way from the inside in to tackle him, so it's no more than just the first down that he gained.
1st and 10 for the Hurricanes now at their own 40. As they look to get back into this game. That pass complete to Ivy. Immediately wrapped up by number 2, Jalen Butcher.
And
First time, but they've thrown to that side of the field. Of course, Spencer Trenier is on that side for the Fratmen.
Absolutely, and he's been Johnny on the spot. He has made so many plays this year. He has intercepted so many passes. He has scored and compound that with his talents on special team. As we get another stop in the action here, the referees are just looking to set the chains and the sticks a little differently.
So this might be a referee's timeout.
Oh, it's an injury timeout.
Oh, there
actually.
is an injury. Okay.
Yeah.
didn't see the Fratmen player down. It looks like it's Adam Chin, number 4, one of the linebackers.
Looking like he's tending to his back, his lower back, which, man, if you ever take a shot there, you get like that Charlie horse in that lower back. It just doesn't go away. It doesn't eventually, like, it just always feels like it's there. So he's walking like he just got something right in the muscle of his back. So maybe a little deep heat, keep that thing moving a little bit. And
Sean will work him over.
I'm sure he will.
Sean will get him back in the game. He works magic, Mr. Sean Haskett, for the Fratmen, that's for sure. Second down situation here for the Hurricanes as the clock has started. As time winding down here in the first quarter. I'm going to call it 2nd and 4. Marquette, quick pass over the middle. He finds his target. That's number 32, Brandon Betancourt, his first reception of the afternoon. He gets the first down. Into the Fratman end of the field they go to the 53.
The last 4 or 5 series, or plays, excuse me, the Hurricanes have been empty. They've been 3-by-3, no threat of the run, and they're just pretty much saying, we're going to throw hooks all day long until we can catch you flat-footed once and get vertical on you. They're just picking their poison. The quarterback pretty much is going to predetermine. He's looking at the coverage, and he's going to say, I'm going to throw to one person right now, and it's quick.
This will be the last play of the quarter, unless there's a penalty, of course, but pass is completed from Marquette. I believe he found who's been his busiest receiver, surprisingly, number 29. That's Angus Button. And that does indeed end the first quarter as referee Jemmy signals it. Coach Morency is still coaching as time has expired.
Yeah, and they are going to end up having a second down and about 5. They picked up, again, that quick little throw, that hook. So one adjustment I would suspect Coach Morency is going to say to his crew. We'll get back to that just as the quarter ends.
Yeah, so there you do see the score after 15 minutes of play. The Fratmen leading at 17-3 on a very cool day here in southwestern Ontario. When we come back, more OFC football action here on we-tv.ca.
It's new, it's fresh, it's innovative. It's WeTV, Windsor Essex Television, and you can watch it anywhere. www.we-tv.ca is the place to be. If it's sports, entertainment, or community events, WeTV has what you're looking for. The people, places, and faces of our community are front and center on WeTV. Check out www.we-tv.ca for what's being webcast live. WeTV, we got you covered.
Of course, we come out of commercial, second quarter starts, and what happens? Marquette is sacked. He drops the ball this time, and the Fratmen chase it down, and they come back out in the second quarter and start with great field position again, as they will take the ball over at the Hamilton 36-yard line, but the defense, again, stepping up, Adi.
Yeah, and Coach Morency was just right there on the sideline. He's telling his guy, listen, slow your feet down, play it like a shortstop, pick it up, because that could just as very well have been a scoop and score, because at the first contact, as the ball was bouncing around, a Fratman, there he is, and that's number 55 who had that first crack at it, and that's Alex Valhora.
Well, a great play for the Fratmen, and again, they start this offensive series with outstanding field position at the Hurricanes 36. Riem looks right going downfield. He's looking for that time Omar Hayes-Williams. He came up with it, but oh my God.
What a tremendous catch. What a tremendous catch. It looked like it should have been intercepted. You'll see here on the replay, the ball was a little bit underthrown. It goes right through the hands of the defender, and it was indeed caught by Omar Hayes-Williams, and that looks like it's Button playing defense as well.
Button's playing defense as well, so you know he could handle the ball, as he's got 3 or 4 receptions already in this game, and Williams just basically took it from him.
He sure did.
First and goal for the Fratmen at the Hurricanes' 2-yard line. Threatening to put more points up on the board. Riem keeps again and slithers in. Touchdown, Fratmen!
Well, that is just another demonstration of the athleticism. He just took it, snap once sideways once, and got it in. Now, where was a flag? From my vantage point, it looked like somebody flipped the ball. You'll see here on the replay, you'll see DeMarcus just grab the football there, and he'll flip it at the defender's face, and that probably is what got the
That's
flag.
what got the flag out. You're right, buddy.
There is no flag on the play.
Okay, Alex Jemmy indicates differently.
All right. So you never know. Somebody could have batted the ball out of Brandon's hands. When you're in the scrum like that, everyone's all over the place. Either way, the Fratmen score. That is the third rushing touchdown of the game for Brandon.
I think the officials, you got to give them a little more leniency to have a feel for the game and make those calls.
Absolutely.
I don't think it should be automatic and that they're forced.
And we have an extremely veteran crew here.
We've got a great crew.
This crew here has spent plenty of years on the gridiron officiating at all levels, from the OUA all the way down to Windsor minor football.
The kick is good. That makes it to the Fratmen 24, the Hurricanes 3. All looking good on that Fratman sideline right now. And that man right there, Brandon Riem, I'll tell you what, he's having a game. Which, you want your stars to be the stars. And he's definitely been a star already today. So
yeah, and it's a statement. I think there's still some animosity.
This goes back to last year.
Yeah, all the way from last year, and then it compounded and it culminated with the fact that Brandon wasn't nominated as the All-Star quarterback.
That as well. That was a real big issue with the Fratman camp the last couple of weeks when all that came out. And, nothing against Marquette, but, boy, you look at Riem's number in not even 8 full games. Boy, it's a pretty good argument there for the Fratmen.
Yeah, it was hard to believe that he ends up with accounting for 28 touchdowns on the year and completes 68% of his passes against only 3 turnovers. And in a 7-game season, that was what was a little bit surprising.
So the Hurricanes now definitely have their work cut out for them, Badi, down 24-3. A lot of time left in this quarter, obviously, 13 and a half minutes to go. 1st and 10 for the Hurricanes at their own 33. They need to get some offense going, though. Got to get that defense a break, and got to get into the Fratman's head a little bit here. A nice job there, again, by Button to come up with that reception as that pass was deflected.
Absolutely, and you'll see here on the replay, like the defenders for the Fratmen now on the D-line, they've went with all defensive ends. They've actually moved Slickbore, and you see the ball actually get deflected there. They've moved Slickbore from his defensive end to the defensive tackle to get away from the possibility of him being double-teamed or chipped from the outside, and now you have 4 athletic bodies all along the line of scrimmage because it appears Hamilton has abandoned the run already. They're empty the entire time.
Marquette looking downfield, has Ivy alone, and he comes up with the reception as he got in behind Trenier. Huge play there as Ivy now has some words for Trenier. If that isn't, taunting of some kind, I don't know what it is, but we'll see where it goes.
This time Marquette had a little bit of time to throw, and when you give a good quarterback a little bit of time and you let your best athlete run down the sideline, and yeah, that was a little talking. He's just asking himself to get fed, but I'm pretty sure Spencer just looked up at the score clock and realized, hey, that board still says in our favor.
Well, full marks to Spencer for keeping his composure there. Marquette's pass complete again. That time he finds underneath Emmett Putt, number 23.
And that is exactly what Coach Morency wants to see. He's okay with them dunking and dinking and hitting the underneath and trying to get those underneath because he believes they can win the tackling game. It's just that when you do get vertical, and if you can't get the pressure with your front 4, the vertical does open up. You already saw that any pressure, Marquette's going to get hit hard, and there was already 1 fumble caused from that instant pressure.
Second down and 4 for the Hurricanes as they're at the Fratman 21. There's a little shuffle pass as Adeniran takes it, and I think he's going to be short of the first down yardage needed here, Badi. Or no, they move the sticks, so he did get it.
Yeah, so they slant inside and they bring their middle linebacker out on some sort of dog. He walks out, and he now is caught in limbo because he has to defend the quarterback and the underneath route. So it was a good job, good play call against that sort of set for the Fratmen. So the Hamilton Hurricanes do stay with their theme of throwing the ball, but this time they get a little creative with that underneath shuffle pass.
They're at the Fratman 15-yard line now, 1st and 10 for the Hurricanes as they're trying to get back into this one, down 21. Flag on the play. Marquette goes to the end zone. Almost picked off. Pass goes incomplete. But we do have a flag on the play.
Yeah, I know the flag right away. There was no end on the line of scrimmage, so there's unquestionably a penalty as we see Jalen Butcher down. And I'm pretty sure he collided with Tarek Bonus, or that could have been Spencer Trinier. I don't know. He collided with his own man. But there was no end on the line of scrimmage, so you have illegal procedure against the Hurricanes.
Well, let's get the call here from referee Alex Jemmy. Called it Badi.
Yeah, they're just asking the sideline whether or not they want to accept the penalty or accept the play. 2nd and 10 or 1st and 15.
Procedure on the offense. No end. That penalty's declined. 2nd down.
They decline it. So it'll be 2nd and 10 now for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, it was a pretty easy call. That was Chris Patton, who was just dead down the line of scrimmage, and he realizes that the only man on the line of scrimmage is an offensive tackle.
Coming off the sideline slowly for the Fratmen. Sean Haskett is there. Boy, this doesn't look good. This just does not look good. Jalen Butcher was the player that was down. And that collision in the end zone.
Yeah. So yeah, he does look a little bit, and it doesn't look like he's just winded. It looks like he got hit, and it did look like he went right into the chest of his own man as they were both going for the ball. And especially in today's climate, like you have to be extra cognizant of any kind of head trauma. So they're going to take a look at that.
Hopefully nothing too serious there, but certainly doesn't look good right now. Another flag on the play as this play comes off, and picked off that time by the Fratmen's number 3, Ishmael Johnson. But there is a flag on the play.
And they're going to discuss this. It looks like it was, again, they were offsides. This
and
time
it's
it looked
the Fratmen's
like
ball.
Yeah, that's it.
Offside on the offense. That penalty's declined. Result of the play, 1st down.
So you had, it was Ivy again. Ivy was the split end on the line of scrimmage. They will always give you a little bit of a roll even if you're set, but he got off going and he was a full yard across. And fortunately for the Fratmen, they didn't blow that dead because he was a split end. Sometimes they can blow that dead right there. But as you saw on our replay, there was that interception, and the Fratmen are going to get the ball without surrendering any points at the 20-yard line.
So a nice interception by Johnson, good heads-up play. For the Fratmen, and they take over the ball. They dodge a bullet there and not surrendering any points. 1st and 10, AKO at their own 20-yard line. Riem hands off to Knox. Knox goes to the left. Knox looking to get to the outside. Now he turns it upfield, and he picks up about 8 yards, maybe 9, but a nice job there by D'Angelo Knox.
Yeah, and I think you're going to get an offside. There's a flag here, but I think you have the Hurricanes that were lined up offside, as you'll see here on a replay. What a tremendous patient run here. This is almost like Le'Veon Bell. I'm just going to glide. I'm just going to wait. Then I'm going to turn the jets on when I think I have something. Then he lowers his shoulder into it. Didn't look like he was moving at full speed, yet he picked up a big chunk of yardage, and that means again, there was a penalty, and since they're walking off.
Illegal substitution coming on late on the defense. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
No, it was actually illegal substitution.
Oh, okay.
The tapping of the hat means that the gates were open or closed, and the Hurricanes tried to run somebody on, and they ran them on late, which means that's a 10-yard penalty, so they'll definitely accept it and reset the sticks.
And that's a 1st down for the Fratmen, and the Hurricanes not doing themselves any favors, that's for sure. Just over 10 minutes to go here in the 1st half. This is Knox again. An outstanding effort to pick up 3 or 4, maybe 5 there.
Yeah, I think I would have liked to see him stay on the play side that one. From my vantage point, it looked like if he had pressed the hole a little more, he might have been able to get to the wide side of the field, but he tried to bounce that back to the short hash, and it ended up only being a small gain. But then again, I am not a running back, nor do I have that kind of vision. I can only see what I see from up here, and he led the league in rushing this year.
Yes, he did, in 7 games to boot. A huge year for D'Angelo Knox. Very fun running back to watch, that's for sure. Second down situation, Riem out of the pocket. Riem, what a move there. What a job by the Fratmen quarterback to get the first down. What a great move he made to get himself open and pick up the yards needed.
And you'll see here on the replay, look left, didn't like his matchup, stepped up into the pocket, keeps his eyes downfield. Once there was any kind of rush, he pump faked him, and then realized, here's the first down stick. I'm going to protect myself without getting hit. He gave himself up, even though he went head first. Once you're down in this league, you're down.
Ball at the 44-yard line, 1st and 10, Fratmen. Riem's going to keep it again, and this time he's taken down quickly, maybe after a yard is picked up.
Yeah, that was a straight quarterback counter, and that was Federico again who made the play.
Federico's had a good first half, but
he sure has. He's been in the backfield. He's had a sack. He's been making, I think that was like his 3rd or 4th tackle. We'll see here on the replay. He just plays leverage, gets off the block, and that was a good play by him because that play should have probably went a lot further, but the block was not sustained by Jacob Benson.
Coach Lachance taking a good look at this. Call it 2nd and 9. Or 8, actually. They gave Riem 2 there. Draw play of some kind there. Knox gets out to about the 50. He's going to be a couple of yards short for sure.
Yeah, it was counter trade. They pulled from the left. They took the offensive tackle and offensive guard and pulled them around. So you'll see the two 57 and 66 from our picture here pull over to the right. And they moved the center this time, so there must have been a line call. So then the linebacker came up and filled. There just wasn't that extra pressure there.
Flags on the play before the play, just as the play came off, but there is a flag. Coach Lachance was hopping.
Yeah,
you
because
can see he's still livid on the sideline.
You see, a lot of teams will go to this quick set when they think they can draw somebody offside on a 3rd down play. And what ended up happening was you see an injured defensive lineman for the visitors, and you'll get the indication here. It looks like it's going to be offside as we'll wait for the official call from Alex Jemmy.
Offside on the defense in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
So it's a first down for the Fratmen, offside against the Hurricanes. We do have a player that is shaken up. This will give Coach Lachance, as you can see, a chance to talk to his quarterback.
He's talking to D'Angelo, and in that case scenario, I bet he's just questioning why or what he's seeing, why he's cutting it back so quickly.
Well, we have a chance. We want to thank the many people that help us put this together and make it all possible here to bring you the OFC title game all season long. That man right there, the hardworking realtor, Harold Remark, a great contributor to many sports programs in our area. We certainly thank Harold for all of his outstanding contributions and support here on we-tv.ca. Looks like it's number 64, Mike McLaughlin, shaken up for the Hurricanes. He's still having a hard time getting up.
I think that's that McLaughlin's on the AKO side. I think that's James Sides for the visitors. 64, James Sides.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry, Debris. I'm looking
That's
at
okay.
the wrong lineup
64,
here.
it's a special number to me because anytime I usually know who wears 64 for the Fratmen because that was my old playing number.
Yes, it was.
Not that I expected ever to be retired or anything because I was just a workman. I just worked hard and I hopefully had some fun doing it.
You paid your dues in this league, man. You were an all-Canadian. So.
I love playing this game. I love coaching this game. So anytime I see 64 in a Fratmen jersey, it just brings me just a little bit of pride that I wore that number back in the day.
You wore it proudly, that's for sure. We had some great teams back then as well.
Yeah, we did. We had it was a lot of fun. And that's why it's such an important game to me from all my years of playing high school and here for the Fratmen.
As we resume action here, Fratmen right at the midfield stripe, looking to keep this drive going. 1st and 10 here. This is Jacoby Jones, picks up about 3, maybe 4.
Yeah, in the high snap, I think the timing was thrown off just a little bit. You get that high snap, and Jacoby just had to be a little bit more patient because he usually doesn't cut it back that quickly. And because of the high snap, he was delayed the hole close. Usually he gets through those holes a lot quicker than that. And you saw a great angle from our replay crew that was a little bit of a high snap.
They give Jones 3 yards, so we'll make it 2nd and 7. Just under 7 minutes to go here in the first half. This quarter a little bit slower than that of the first quarter, but it was a pretty fast-paced first quarter.
Absolutely.
one hand cold. But,
flushed out. Now he's going to get wrapped up. Still up. No, he is finally hauled down. Getting to him was J.P. Ortega, number 94, and of course number 51 again, Anthony Federico, who again continues to work hard for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, and this is just speed. They are just beating him with speed out the edge, and they do a great job of getting to the high point, not allowing him to break that containment. And Brandon, as athletic as he is, he can't elude everything, and there was not much there for him to step up into. Sometimes you just want to see him just take the sack a little sooner so you can buy yourself better field position. But
quit trying so hard, Brandon. I don't know if you could say that to him, but I get what you're saying there, buddy, that's for sure. Beaton comes in to punt for the Fratmen. He's going to angle this one to the left side. Takes a Fratman bounce, rolls. Scooped up there by Braden Hill, number 14, and he's forced out of bounds. Good job by Beaton, angling it, gets a good roll, and the Hurricanes take over at their own 28-yard line. Down 3 touchdowns, 6:05 to go here in the second quarter of this OFC title game on we-tv.ca. Dominic Pop along with Badia Quas, the hard-working crew here at WeTV. Glad to have you along for the ride. Hope you're enjoying it. And Fratman looking to put the finishing touches on what has been an outstanding run. Of course, our question of the week with Brittany Webster. Every week a new question. On the Monday, Brittany gets all the topical questions out there for you. And a great little segment we have here on We-TV. Check out Brittany's report every Monday, a new one for you right there. Look at that face. Boy, oh boy. Is that a fan or is that a fan? My, oh my. Keeping warm and eating their cookies. Good stuff. I love it. This is Ivy. Gets out to about the 40. He gets the yards needed for a first down. A good job by the star receiver of the Hurricanes.
Yeah, very good route. He looked like he wanted to turn the afterburners on and just jet right down the sideline, which really pressured the Fratman defenders to start to bail. And then he put the brakes down on a quick comeback route, and he was wide open for about 15 yards. And that's exactly what happened. He moved it all the way across the 40-yard line.
1st and 10 Hurricanes at their own 41 now. They, no doubt, but they need to get something again going offensively. Want to get some points back before this half is out. As they are down 21 here. Fratmen have led right from the get-go. Marquette flushed out of the pocket, and he slides, picks up about, we're going to say, maybe 5. As they looks like they're going to spot it at the 45.
Fratman brings some pressure here, and that slick ball right up the middle, and the quarterback does a nice job stepping up in the pocket, escapes that route, and he initially started his slide right at the 45, and that's where they're going to give him the yardage, and it's going to bring up a second and about 6.
That's indeed what they do call it, 2nd and 6. Marquette has 4 receivers to the left side. Ivy's alone on the right. He's going to look right, looking for Ivy, and that's not going to make it. Watched closely there, Elijah Blythe with good coverage that time on Ivy.
All-star against all-star, and sometimes you're going to take calculated gambles, and in this case scenario, Coach Morency put his faith in his best guy as he really mirrored his route. He ran step for step with him, and unless that ball was absolutely perfectly thrown outside his right shoulder with a one-handed catch, Ivy was not going to make that play.
And that's putting that into detail, but I'll tell you, good job. So we've got a 3rd down situation. The Hurricanes in the punt situation now, needing 6 yards. Back deep, Spencer Trenier for the Fratmen. He's joined by, I believe it's number 2, Jalen Butcher.
Fake is short.
Fake is short. It looks like he's going to be about 2 or 3 yards short, so the Fratmen are going to get outstanding field position again, but I'm not sure if I agree with that call.
I don't agree with that call, but that was Brandon Bencourt. If we get this here on the replay, he's going to be the up back to the right. And if we widen this angle here, and it's a direct snap, and we just, because Bencourt showed it, I saw it from here, he started rolling his hips and moving, and immediately, as soon as he started moving, you saw the Fratman linebackers come up and force. He was 2 yards short. I could see it from here, and if I can see it from here, these well-trained athletes who are expecting to see something in that vulnerable zone, because at midfield, that's when you might expect a fake.
So the Fratmen now again with outstanding field position at the Hurricane 49-yard line. They already have a 21-point lead. Just under 4 minutes to go here. little bit of confusion in the Fratmen backfield as Knox collides with the quarterback, Riem.
Yeah, somebody went the wrong way, and I can't decipher that right now because there was split action all over the place, but maybe this replay will help us. Looks like this play should have went to the left, and Brandon went the wrong way. Yep, that was Brandon. Okay, he is human. He's made a couple mistakes, so let's get that on the record right now. He bleeds.
So they'll try to do it again here. 2nd down and 10 now for the Fratmen at the Hurricane 49. Hitch pass quickly over here. He finds number 14. That's Marcus Williams Cooper.
They're going to call him down. He fielded the ball with a knee on the ground. It was a low throw, and that forced Marcus to go down and get that ball. And because of that, he's down right away. And you'll see right there, he went down on the knee. And that's just a simple call. That's Brent Webster, who was just in a perfect position to see his knee in contact with the ground. That's going to bring up a punting situation here for the Fratmen, who can't capitalize off of the fake punt opportunity.
So number 29, Andrew Beaton, comes into the game for the Fratmen. He stands at about his own 45-yard line. Back deep for the Hurricanes, number 14, Braden Hill. He's joined by number 2, David Denerin. An angle to the left. Takes a Fratman bounce and rolls out. I think that ball's going to be spotted at the 16-yard line.
That is 2 great kicks in a row. These don't necessarily go on highlights, but you are pinning them deep. And they remember that big sack Brandon took, pinned the Fratmen back at their own 30, and they were able to flip that field position. And now the Hurricanes, they just blew the 2-minute warning, and with 2:49 left in the opening half, and they're trailing by 21, have a full field to go. That's a lot of yardage. They have to pick up almost 100 yards to get into that end zone here.
Fratman looking pretty comfortable on that sideline, pretty focused.
Yeah, but according to the articles in the paper this week, and I'm sure with your interview today, Brandon probably mentioned how they can't be complacent.
Yeah, we talked to Brandon on my weekly Sunday morning radio show, and he took nothing for granted. Oh, what a grab there by the receiver, Angus Button, who's been very busy this half. There's a flag on the play.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to call, and it might be Devin Woods. It looks like it's number 12 out on the corner, and I don't know if I agree with that. That was a little bit of a bang-bang. I don't know if I like that call. But they're bringing it up. They're saying
unnecessary roughness. Yeah. Spearing on the defense. 15-yard penalty.
It's because he lowered his
First
head.
down.
So that'll give the Hurricanes a first down and move the ball up to the Hamilton 36-yard line, I should say.
Yeah, so they get the 5 yards from the catch, and they get the 15 added on to that. So you're seeing Devin Woods now playing some corner. He's doing a little two-way play himself.
Gets the pass off over the middle. That's fumbled, and immediately right there was one of the teammates of the Hurricane player.
They're going to talk about this. I think he was incomplete. I never thought he made an athletic move.
They may say he didn't have control of it.
And you see here on the replay, he turned and he was hit immediately, and that is the case. They're going to call that incomplete. Which I want to say is the right play.
Still having a discussion about it. I don't know if we can get the guys to play that one more time for us, if we can get a good look at it. But it looks like they're going to put the ball back. Here it is again.
And you'll see here on the replay, as soon as the running back catches the ball, he turns, bang, and the ball's out. Like, that's contact right away. Usually you have to make some sort of football move after that, and immediate contact isn't a football move. That's just a collision as part of the play.
Call it second down now and 10 here for the Hurricanes. Marquette gets the pass off. That's going to be short of the yardage needed as Ivy hauls it in. But it looks like he's going to be about a yard short, Biddy.
Yeah, and my guess is they're going to go for it. You'll see here on the replay, Slickbar almost gets there. There's a high pass. If the ball was a little lower, you might have been able to get Ivy to spin out of that real quickly and possibly lunge forward for the first. But he did a nice job climbing the ladder and getting the first. as you definitely see some heavy bodies come in. So either this is going to be a quick snap and wedge forward, or they're going to try to draw them offside. I would prefer just to see a quick snap and wedge forward.
Looks like Marquette's going to line up right under center. So I think you've got it down pat. Hands off, and more than enough for the first down as David Dennerin gets the job done.
Yeah, and that's it. Again, it's almost the same as a wedge. It's just a lead block. They have 3 guys in the backfield. They're just going to power forward for that. And you needed that if you're the Hurricanes. You absolutely unequivocally needed to get some momentum. You did not want to give the Fratmen the ball back with plenty of time on the clock to score again. In an ideal situation, you go down here and you score, and then you get the ball to start the second half. Marquette pumps, looks over the top, gets pressured right away, and now that ball is down on the ground, and it looks like it is loose, but they did recover it, so it's going to bring up a second down as the ball was floating around, and then even another lineman hurt. Here you'll see on the replay, a little bit of pressure right up the middle, and then Marquette cannot get outside the pocket as he is brought down, and the ball did look like it came out, but fortunately for the Hurricanes, it came right back to his lap. Now those 2 timeouts might come back to haunt the Fratmen right now as they cannot stop the clock. So this clock's going to wind in. They're going to be able to take 20 seconds off this play and 20 seconds off the next play at the very least if they do not want to get a first down here. Fake the jet sweep, a quick little hitch to the outside, and his receiver slips through one of the potential tacklers as he works his way across the midfield stripe to the 54 of the Fratmen. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and about 3. Just a missed tackle as the little slipstream comes in, and you'll see, that was just you didn't bring your feet. If you're Ishmael Johnson, you got to keep running your feet through that tackle, and this is going to bring up a 3rd down and about 3 with the Hurricanes keeping their offense on the field with 1:30 and counting in this half. Marquette looks down the field, sees his intended target, and that looks like it was Ivy who came in for just looked like it was a quick curl, stop curl right to the numbers at the 40-yard line. That gives him a first down. And you see here on the replay, he just catches the ball, and fortunately for him, he held on to that. That was actually close. That was an immediate hit, and the ball did come down. I don't know if it came out of his hands. I don't know if it hit the ground, but that was awfully close. And that's going to bring up a 1st down and 10. And the visitors are set at about the 37-yard line. Clock starts in. Low snap. Marquette looks left, stays left, throws to the outside to his left. And again, another missed tackle. And that ends up being about a 14, 15-yard gain. And that's Button again now. He had first down yardage, and you'll see here on this outside route, he just sort of does a quick little out to the sideline, and Marquette puts it right on the money. I almost would have liked to see him turn outside and get out of bounds. Actually, that was number 23, Emmett Putt, because now the clock's going to start running. I probably would have liked to save some time. You still do have 1 timeout if you're Hamilton, but probably would have liked to see him go out of bounds as we're now under a minute of play left here in the opening half of Ontario Football Conference final championship play. Marquette looks again to his left, does the quick little out, and that is again number 29, and that is Angus Butt on the catch, and that looks like it's going to be pretty close, and now that is the indication. That is a first down, as you see on our replay. That Butt makes the catch, reaches forward across the 15-yard line towards the 13-yard line, and that's where they're going to call it a first down at around the 13.5-yard line. Good little drive here for the Hurricanes. Marquette looking left. It's going to the corner route, and it's caught. Oh, it's dropped. It looked like he had a handle of it, and that was the Button again. And that there was intended receives to Angus Button again, and it looked like he had it in his hands, but he just came out of his hands there. Sometimes these cold days, that ball gets just a little slick. You see here on our replay, it was a contested throw. Trinier and Devin Woods were there, so it would have been a tough play. But at this point in time, the Hurricanes need some plays. That's going to bring up a 2nd down and 10 with just under 30 seconds left to play here in the first half. Marquette looking left, stays left, comes out of his pocket, and that ball is almost intercepted by Devin Woods. And there's, again, a little bit of confusion if you're Jake Marquette. He looked like he was confused because he had a wheel going up the sideline there, and that looked like that was Andoran who was trying to catch that ball out of his running back spot, and it was. And Devin Woods had underneath coverage as there was help over top of that. So that was a nice play by the receiver, Devin Woods, playing corner for the Fratmen. And you had Ishmael Johnson, who had the over-the-top coverage on that little wheel route. Not sure if I would have went for it here. Points at this point, especially because you're getting the ball to start the second half. It's 3rd down. Maybe 3 would have been a viable option. But Marquette's going for it, and that is it. He is sacked, and that looked like that was number 55 for the Fratmen. It looked like it was Alex Valahora who came off the edge and absolutely ate up the left tackle, and that was it. Sack, and that sets up the Fratmen with some, doesn't set the Fratmen up with good field position, but what it does is it keeps points off the board as the Fratmen defense comes up big on a 3rd down play, and that means the Fratmen are likely going to just take a knee to end this opening half and take a 21-point lead into the half. But I would possibly question that call from Coach Hayes. I think because you're getting the ball to start the 3rd quarter, I probably would have taken the points there. It's always, you can always second guess things, but if you're down 2 scores, 3 scores, 4 scores late in the game, there's still a lot of game left here. Maybe being down 18 wouldn't have been the worst thing possible. So the clock winds in, it's counting down to 0. The referees are just waiting, as both teams have been informed that they're just going to take a knee. So Brandon Reham's just going to take the snap once that hits zeros, and now that's it. And there's the indication from Mr. Jemmy that we're at the half. And quick little recap. Fratmen 24, the visiting Hurricanes 3 here on we-tv.ca. Proud presenters of Ontario Football Conference play as we take it to commercial.
Like our champions, we know what it takes to win. Every day we put on our uniforms and we strive to be the best. Ring after ring, we keep practicing until it becomes second nature. Our craftsmen have put in thousands of hours to master their trade. When things get tough, we make the adjustments needed to stay on top. Baron Championship rings. This is who we are.
We know you're going to the same gym, and we know you're expecting different results.
This is your invitation to visit Club Attitude, Windsor's best-kept training secret. Individual, custom-designed fitness specifically tailored for you. Clean, modern, well-equipped studio. Body, mind, and soul. Come on, make that change. It won't be scary.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
I learn by doing. I learn by reacting to a situation. St. Clair puts me directly into my industry. I'm dealing with real patients, real life situations. It's not just theory. It's not book work anymore. I choose to take control of my future and my path to St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
Welcome back to OFC Championship Football here on we-tv.ca. We're coming to you from the Alumni Field here at the University of Windsor. The Windsor Fratmen and the Hamilton Hurricanes battling for a championship here this afternoon. The Fratmen have a 24-3 lead at halftime. Joining us, head coach Jason Hayes of the Hamilton Hurricanes. Thanks for doing this with us, Coach. Quickly, that assessment of that first half there.
Well, just a slow start for us. We make a couple mistakes on special teams. And then I thought our guys were playing well man-to-man, but their athletes made the plays. So about 3 40-yarders that we had coverage on, and they just made a better play. So we got to punch one in and try to close the gap a bit.
Obviously, they've had great field position to start many of their offensive series. How can you change that part of it, Coach?
Well, a lot's going to be relied on our O-line and trying to give Jake some time so that we can move the ball. We've had 3 successful drives where we got down inside the 15 and only came away with 3 points. So we've moved it pretty well. We just got to finish some drives and hopefully give our D a longer field to work with.
Got away from the running game a little bit there, Coach. So was that because of the score getting out of getting to where it is at this point?
No, I mean we're juggling. We're using our all-star running back at DB right now, so we're just trying to juggle bodies. He's only 150 pounds, so tailback, DB, kick and punt return is asking for a lot. So we're just trying to manage the bodies as best we can. We've got some plays to be made, and we'll hope to have a second better half.
The receivers were able to come up with some big receptions. How tough is it to defend against this big Fratmen offense?
Well, yeah, we know that we want to kind of stop that run. We think we've done a pretty good job so far. And as I said, I thought we've had some good coverage, but they've just made plays over top of us. So we've got to kind of adjust that, and hopefully the plays bounces go our way this half.
A lot of great football fans back in Hamilton watching this one, Coach Hayes, including one very, very special fan.
Yeah, my son LJ. So we'll have a better half for you this time.
Coach, hang in there. Coach Hayes getting a little bit emotional there, though. Again, he has some family and friends watching back home, but no doubt he's not giving up the fight yet. And one man that knows that for sure is this guy right here, the head coach of the Fratmen, Mike LaChance. You know this guy's going to go down fighting here, Coach.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he showed it at the in the red zone there with no time left, basically, and throwing it in the end zone. He's not kicking field goals. He's here to win. So.
A great start for the team, Coach LaChance. You've had great field position to start a lot of the offensive series. How much of that is a factor in this 24-3 lead here?
It helped. I mean, special teams, we're loading up with some pretty premier players on our special teams coverage units right now and our return team. So we're pretty happy with that group. Defensively, we played well. Offensively, we hit some big plays deep. We need to be able to run the football. And you've seen us trying to run the football in the late in the second quarter. We need to establish ourselves physically.
Yeah. Talk to me about the defensive side of the ball, though. You've really kept their quarterback, the all-star quarterback, off balance. You've gotten to him pretty good. Yes, I say all-star. I cringe a little bit about that myself, but just the same. He's a very good quarterback. We know that. He knows how to win, but you've been able to get to him. How effective do you think the team has been, and how much of a factor is that in this lead?
Well, he's completed a lot of passes, but against our defense, the more you drop back, the more chance you have to get hit and to fumble balls, to throw interceptions. They put him into precarious positions. They expose him a little bit. He's an outstanding talent. Jake's a great quarterback, great competitor. He's a scary guy to play against because he can hit every throw. But at the same time, you can't throw when you're on your ass. Mm-hmm. So we got to get after him.
Of course, your team has a 21-point lead here, Coach LaChance. What are you going to say to the guys in the room? Obviously, you can't let them just sit on this. This is an outstanding Hamilton team, and they know how to win. They're the defending champions. What are you going to say to the guys here?
Well, I told our offense before the half ended that we need 40 to win this game. I expect them to have some explosive plays. They've got guys like Trey Ivy. They can make some big plays offensively. Defensively, they're taking some chances. We've got to be able to capitalize. Run the football, main thing.
This might be a little bit of a crazy question, Coach LaChance, but how much fun is this game right now?
It's not fun.
No?
No, it's fun when the game's over and we celebrate. That's the fun part right now. It's a little stressful, but you know what? We got off to a good lead, so it allows us to breathe a little bit anyways. But at the same time, like you said, Hamilton's a dangerous team. They've got an experienced coaching staff. They've been here before. It seems like we play them every year in the finals. They've won 2. We've won 2 in the last handful of years. So this one's going to come down to the fourth quarter.
Like I said, it was a little bit of a crazy question, but I had to ask it. Coach LaChance, good luck in the second half, okay?
Thank you.
That's Coach Mike LaChance. Of course, his team up 24-3 here after 30 minutes of play. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll talk to past president Paul Bartle. He'll tell us all about this championship and all about the trophy that's going to be handed out here a little later on this afternoon. You're watching the OFC Championship game on we-tv.ca.
It's new, it's fresh, it's innovative, it's WeTV, Windsor Essex Television, and you can watch it anywhere. www.we-tv.ca is the place to be. If it's sports, entertainment, or community events, WeTV has what you're looking for. The people, places, and faces of our community are front and center on WeTV. Check out www.we-tv.ca for what's being webcast live. WeTV, we got you covered.
Like our champions, we know what it takes to win. Every day we put on our uniforms and we strive to be the best. Ring after ring, we keep practicing until it becomes second nature. Our craftsmen have put in thousands of hours to master their trade. And when things get tough, we make the adjustments needed to stay on top. Baron Championship rings. This is who we are.
Welcome back to Alumni Field. This is what it's all about today, folks. The Teddy Morris Memorial Trophy. The team that comes up with the most points today gets to put their hands on this thing and take it back to the clubhouse. We continue our halftime report here at the Alumni Field here at the University of Windsor. WeTV's presentation of OFC Championship Football. My name is Dominic Papa. Joining us to talk about this trophy and more, the past president of the Ontario Football Conference, Mr. Paul Bartle. Come on in here, Paul. Thanks for doing some time with us here. You have the fun part today. You get the fun part of the job.
Yeah,
you get to hand this baby out today.
Hand this out. Darren isn't around today, so he asked me to do it. So I've had the pleasure of handing this trophy out on many occasions, and to Windsor on quite a few, or the Hurricanes.
Yeah, there's been a lot of that lately between these two teams. They've been pretty special, that's for sure. The history of this trophy, the meaning of it, there's a lot of great history. The Ontario Football Conference is so rich in history, Paul.
Well, this goes back to the OSC, as I know. I played for Brantford in the old days of the 60s in the ORFU, as did Windsor. So when we joined, we retired that trophy, I think, in 1970, and this trophy, we started playing for this trophy because the Windsor, Sarnia, and Brantford joined the OSC from the junior ORFU. The OSC was started by an old Argonaut, Don Durnall, and Danny Shaw. Started the OSC, and it was supposed to be in an inter-city junior league around Toronto in the metro area, but expanded, to Hamilton and Burlington, and then we got on the junior RFU. We were getting low in numbers, so it just made sense back in 1970 that we joined forces. So, yeah, so that trophy, I guess, started, I think, 56, I think, is the first winner of that trophy, the Teddy Morris, and the old ORFU trophy. I hope it's still in the Hall of Fame.
I'm going to test you a little bit here. I promise you I wouldn't ask too many tough questions, but Teddy Morris, could you tell us about him and the significance of that? And actually, it's changed over. It was the Murphy Cup before, and it's now the Teddy Morris.
Yeah.
Any significance to that?
If I known you were going to ask me that question, I would have made sure. I did. I have known the history a little bit, but to be honest with you, I wouldn't want to take a shot at it because I'd kind of mess it up. But I think it goes back to, I think he was a friend of Don Durnall's and involved with the formation of the OFC back in, I think, 56, 57, somewhere in there. So, yeah, that's as far as I know.
Okay, that's okay. That's good enough. You talked about this in the 60s, winning this in the 60s, Paul. Obviously, we're in 2017 here. There's a lot of concern about where the game's going, the league's going, things like that. How important is it to you, gentlemen like yourself and others that played, participated, had junior football available, how important to you to keep this thing going in a forward motion?
For me, it's very important. Sure. I mean, not counting my playing days, this is my 44th year involved in junior football, the executive, with the Brantford Bisons in the 70s, and when I folded the team in '82, I got involved with the league, and I've been president a couple of times and different positions, and it's very important. And I think hopefully, junior football has been around since 1887, 89, somewhere in there. We're the oldest football league in Canada. We play for the oldest national championship in Canada in football, and I think we don't have the numbers of teams that we used to have way back in the 70s. things are different. The young people are different. They aren't trying to find that dedicated player. It's hard, as Mike could tell you, or Jason Hayes can tell you. It's hard to find that dedication. But I think the strength, that I think there's good minor systems. You got the Essex Ravens here and the different varsity teams throughout Ontario. And out west, we know on the prairies it's still strong. And BC, they don't have a lot. They have more community football than they have high school. But in Ontario, I think there's still high school football. I think some of the high schools have dropped their football, and but I think the the community football is strong. With you got the 3 varsity leagues now: the OPFL, the OVFL, and the OFC varsity league. So the players are there, and the colleges. It gives a lot of opportunity for guys that aren't going to university a chance to keep playing football.
We'll keep it going strong. Paul, glad you're here. We'll look forward to you handing this out at the end of the day. Continued success to you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, John.
Paul Bardo, very special man here helping us out. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll come back, the kickoff and the third quarter. This is OFC Football on we-tv.ca.
We know you're going to the same gym, and we know you're expecting different results.
This is your invitation to visit Club Attitude, Windsor's best-kept training secret. Individual, custom-designed fitness, specifically tailored for you. Clean, modern, well-equipped studio. Body, mind, and soul. Come on, make that change. It won't be scary.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
Back to Windsor, Ontario, here at Alumni Field at the University of Windsor for Ontario Football Conference. Final action between the leading and home Windsor AKO Fratmen 24 and the visitors who just returned that opening second half kickoff, the Hamilton Hurricanes, who sit with 3 points. And I am Badia Kwas, and as always, I have my good friend here who does a great job. It's Dominic Papa here. He just spent the entire half doing sideline interviews for you.
Oh, we got to take care of business. The show must go on, right, Badi?
Absolutely.
So always great to talk to the coaches, and nice to have Paul Bartles here, the former president. And we'll see at the end of this game. We'll be passing out the Teddy Morris Trophy, as we just talked about. Jason Hayes was getting a little emotional there at halftime.
He sure was.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a passionate football game, and the coaches are all intimately involved. Jason, in his own right, played for the Hurricanes. He knows how much this organization is, as did Mike Lachance. I mean, there's a vested interest from a player and coach perspective, as you see here, the replay, a completion. It's going to bring up a second down and about 3 here for the visitors as they try to get a drive here to see if they can cut into this lead. And that was a big hit for about a 1-yard gain, as that was number 29 for the Fratmen. Excuse me, that was number 9, Tarek Bonus, who came up, and it looked like he made the play there. Yeah, that was on button. And that's going to bring up a 3rd down and short, and you're going to have the Hurricanes. It looks like their offense is staying out on that field right now to see if they can mount something here to start this second half. Coach Hayes just going to the, hey, we need points, we need it now mentality as he fakes inside. They throw that little wheel out again. Same sort of concept. This time they do indeed complete the pass to number 32, and that's Brendan Bencourt after that full-out run fake. He leaks out of the backfield from his motioning slot position, and he picks up the 1st down. So a calculated gamble, but a gamble nonetheless, as it's early, and you'll see here on the replay, a little fake inside run to Andoran. And then you get Betancourt who comes out and gets that first down as they get the ball marked at the 43.5-yard line.
Okay, buddy, I'm back. Sorry, buddy. Left you hanging there a little bit, but boy, oh boy, getting downstairs here is wide open. This is going to be 6 for the Hurricanes. A huge start here to the second half as Marquette finds Angus Button, who's been very good this afternoon. Wide open, obviously a blown coverage there, buddy.
Absolutely, and he just ran right up the seam. And there, you'll see here on the replay, there was not anyone within at least 15 yards of him, and he just did not break stride off those numbers there. So a big catch and run of about 60 yards or so. A little surprising that there wasn't a little bit more quarters coverage back there with maybe 2 safeties as you take a look at him walking off the sideline. But that's exactly what you needed if you were the visitors. And it begs me to maybe bring up the point earlier. I was a little surprised. I thought Hamilton might have kicked that field goal just before the half, and that might have given them even a little bit more momentum at this point in the game.
Well, you heard Coach Jason Hayes at halftime. We'll be better in the second half. They'll bring something. And right there, as you see Coach Hayes talking to his gang, complimenting him on an outstanding scoring play.
Yeah, and that's been his MO as a player and as a coach. Get vertical and big strike. And that was Coach LaChance's concern. And I know he even talked to you about that at the half, saying like, you can't take them lightly because they have big strike ability. And that wasn't even their fastest or their number one guy, because Trey Ivey has sort of been contained in the passing game thus far. But you get Button who goes there, and Angus Button just goes up the seam for 60.
He's been their busiest receiver, though, Buddy, so far in this game. He's got several receptions already. I think they've even thrown to him more than they have thrown to Ivey, actually.
Which could very well be the game plan from Coach Morency. Let somebody else beat us. But now it's time for the Fratmen offense to respond, because quite frankly, the entire second quarter has been relatively stagnant for them.
Yeah, it wasn't a great quarter for them, that's for sure. So we're just awaiting the kickoff here after the Hurricane touchdown. 24-10, as you can see our score. We're just underway here in the second half, third quarter. And the Hurricanes have helped their cause a little bit here. Let's see how the Fratmen do respond.
Well, they opened the game kicking from this end, and it was a short little moonshot.
Yeah, it was. Let's see what they do here. Again, a short kick, but Omar Hayes-Williams is going to pick it up. Obviously, Coach Hayes is showing a lot of respect to the Fratmen kick returners. More importantly, probably Spencer Trenier, again, number 8.
I would say so. Now, it looks like something's wrong with Omar, and that's going to be a big deal moving forward. He handles this ball cleanly, and then as he gets brought down, it was his left hand or arm being looked at, because it looked like his left arm or elbow landed awkwardly, his left wrist.
Sean Haskett's out to take a look at him, and Sean's had a busy afternoon as there's been a couple of Fratmen players dinged up pretty good.
He has, for sure. And, I mean, there's 2 things that receivers don't want to ever have compromised: their hands and their knees, because they rely on speed and hands. But it does look like he's nursing that left hand, and it looked like it was more of a non-contact. He braced the turf.
Maybe, yeah. I gotta wonder maybe if it's a collarbone, even the way he's carrying that arm like that.
Could be.
We saw Aaron Rodgers from Green Bay carted out, carrying his arm in a similar fashion there.
Yeah, and that's not what you want to see if you're the Fratmen. I mean, you come off and they score right away, and then you take pretty much an all-star receiver, and now he's walking to the sidelines. Now, not that the Fratmen don't have capable backups, but that's one of the most reliable players they've had for 4 years now.
Well, the Fratmen do get the offense going here at their own 37. Handoff here to Knox. He does a little bit of juking and jiving, and now is forced back, but
not much going there. That was pretty much the first play of the game they started with, just this little inside run. It's inside zone run, and I'll give the credit to the force unit of the Hamilton Hurricanes right there. They did bottle them up, limiting that to about a 2-yard gain. It looks like the Hurricanes, the sidelines, the players on the field, a little more excited right now, a little more engaged.
Well, did themselves a favor by getting a touchdown early on, right away here. Reham's going to roll right, looks downfield, gets the pass off. He was looking for Devon Woods, but again, there, step for step, was Neil Stewart, number 13 of the Hurricanes.
Yeah, it looked like
you're
Woods,
right, Buddy. I think the Hurricanes have got some momentum going here.
Yeah, and it looked like Woods got a hand on the ball here in the spot that only he could get it, and his 1 foot did come down, but it was well defended there by number 13 for the visitors, and that was Neil Stewart, who is going to be credited with the pass breakup, as the Fratmen now have to punt and likely surrender half-decent field position to the visitors.
So Hamilton's come out on fire here in the second half, scoring a touchdown and immediately putting a halt to the Fratmen offensive series here. Beaton, who continues to angle it to the left, takes a good Fratman roll here. Braden Hill gets a couple of yards back, but no further than that, as 3 or 4 Fratman players converge on him.
Decent punt, decent coverage, and now it's a turnaround right to the offense that just had a little bit of excitement. They just converted a third down, and then right after that third down conversion, they get a major big play strike. So we'll see if Coach Morency opts to bring some pressure or force them back into that dunk and dink mode that we saw, which was quite unsuccessful in the first half.
First and 10 for the Hurricanes at their own 34-yard line. 10 and 40 counting here in the third quarter. Marquette flushed out of the pocket. Marquette now tucks it under. He's got the room. He's looking for that first down marker. He may have got there, but
Yeah, and he is athletic. He is quite an athletic player. He might not be necessarily as fast, and that is, I think that's number 32, Betancourt, who looks like he's holding on to his wrist or forearm. And I believe it was Adam Chin who, at some point in time, you'll see here on the replay, you'll see number 4 who's going to be trailing and chasing. And I think he gets into it with him. And that's it. It was just like, hey, you're coming back to try to block me, and he just turned him off. And again, it was the turf.
It would have been the turf, exactly the way Betancourt to break his fall.
Yeah. And just looking at the sideline right now, it looks like everything that's being attended to Omar Hayes looks like it's in that sort of hand wrist area.
Marquette sets up the pass. He finds Ivy. Ivy breaks a tackle there. He's still up, twisting. And a couple of other Fratmen come and help out the cause. And finally are able to haul Ivy down, chin in on that tackle.
Yeah, you'll see on the replay, this is what the Fratmen, I think, want. Duncan Dink come up and make the tackle. And this is a talented player. You let him loose, he's going to probably make a play or two. They just want to get the ball in his hands. And so far, they've contained him. But like you said, they've targeted Button a little more, and Button has made them pay so far.
Ball at the Hurricanes' 51-yard line. Need about 4 yards here to keep the drive alive. Marquette flushed out. Now he's going to run it. He looks for the yardage needed. Marquette hustling. Marquette all down. There's going to be a flag there. They're going to say maybe a horse collar or
head tackle. Head tackle. Yeah, he got the back of the inside part of the helmet right at the cuff of the helmet, and that's likely going to be the call. So you'll see here on the replay, loss of containment, and that looked like it was Adam Chin who should have contained and sort of kept going on the outside. And you'll see here Marquette gets it, and right there at the end you see the pull of the ear hole, the side of the back of the helmet.
First down.
Just a call from head referee Alex Jemmy. First down again for Hamilton. So again, the Hurricanes have come out here, but in the second half, you look at Coach LaChance, not liking this stuff too much.
Not at all. You know, it's conceivable to think the Fratmen could have had 35 points in the first half, and they walk away with 24, and the Hurricanes right off the get-go start and score, and now are set up in great field position to make it a one-score game well early into this third quarter.
The Fratmen 34-yard line, 1st and 10. On the move are the Hurricanes. Okay. takes the snap, looks over the middle, and that ball overthrown, intended for Giovanni Ellis, number 11. Coverage provided by Dante Fornicero.
Yeah, and you'll see here on the replay, clean pocket. So this is something that I know Coach Morency's going to want to, hey, get some pressure on him, because whenever they've dialed up some pressure. But that, stride for stride, as he said, that was Fornicero in the coverage, and he had good positioning on him. He just a little overthrown. If the wind has picked up right now, it's in the favor of the Hurricanes right now, if there is any noticeable wind.
Just in a slight breeze, you can see the flags here, showing some life of a breeze, but not anything I think would be a big factor. Cat pumps, now he tucks it under, looking for some room, and Fratmen are able to quickly close up that gap.
Yeah, and this time around, I will say that it looked like it was number 11, Pren Dunaha, who he sat and he was spying, and they were just like, okay, well, we're going to leave somebody in the middle. And as the picture sort of expands out, and you'll see Marquette, he's going to slide to his left. It's going to be number 11 who presents himself right away, and that is indeed the case. It looks like they just kept somebody sitting and spying in case they had a scramble, because he has moved the sticks twice in this very drive as they're going for it on third down.
Third down, and looks like they need about 8 yards here. Big play here. Marquette looks over the middle, gets the pass off. That was partially deflected. Now they're calling flags here. That flag came out really late. I'll have to see what they call here, but
yeah, I don't know. It was a tough one. It was a low throw. It was behind the receiver. I'd have to see the replay here. There was some contact there.
Let's see what referee Jemmy has to say.
Pass interference on the defense. Spot foul, automatic first down.
Pass interference, automatic first down for the Hurricanes. Huge call.
And we'll see here on the replay, there is a little bit of contact over the top. It was a little bit behind the intended receiver, but that was Tarek Bonus who was called with the infraction, and it's an automatic first down regardless of whether he had the yard to gain anyway. So they put it at the spot of the foul, and they give him the first down right there.
At the Fratmen 22-yard line, the Hurricanes again threatening to get themselves back into the game as Marquette looks for the end zone, has a man there. Who's come up with it? No, it goes incomplete.
Yeah, and that was pretty good coverage again. That looked like it was number 19, Dante Fornicero, in the coverage there as Jake Marquette comes up limping, because he did take a shot here as he was sort of collapsed underneath. And yeah, that was Fornicero there, who was battling with Jake Button again, or so excuse me, Angus Button again on the intended target on that corner smash route.
2nd and 10 now for the Hurricanes as they are at the Fratmen 22-yard line. They're down a couple of touchdowns midway through this third quarter, but the Hurricanes, make no mistake about it, have come out on fire in this third quarter and have put themselves right back in this contest.
Yeah, and I would not be surprised right now if they tried to target or isolate their best guy right now.
Adeniran takes the pass, and he's going to be well short of the yardage needed for the first down.
Yeah, it looked like there was a little confusion there. It's like the lineman didn't get out quick enough. It was a little bit of a bubble screen to their speedy receiver, running back, who I guess I would want to try to get the ball into his hands real quickly. But it looked like there was confusion because there was no lead blockers. If you're going to run a little bit of a bubble, a screen, you usually have either receivers out there or linemen. And there was no one there as they're going to try a field goal from the 30.
Yeah, they're going to spot this, as Badi mentions, right at the 30-yard line to pull to within 11 of the Fratmen. Snaps up, kick is up, and it goes wide.
All right, so the Rouge is on the board now.
The distance was there, but the accuracy not very good. So the single point is added. That'll make the score of the Fratmen 24, the Hamilton Hurricanes 11. And I guess, you know what, for the Fratmen, again, a good victory there, Badi, because the Hurricanes have been moving right away in this third quarter. You saw the first drive where they scored within 2.5 minutes, get the ball right back. They moved downfield, and Fratmen finally put a halt to the offense there.
Absolutely, and the one thing we haven't seen the Fratmen do is get up that seam, that B seam that early on in the game they were able to exploit One to Devin and a couple to Benji. Let's see if they go back to that B-seam fly right now.
Here's Riem. He sets up, gets the pass off to the right side. This is Degasse. Degasse has a block, but Degasse across the midfield stripe into the Hamilton end of the field, down to the Hurricanes 49. A nice play there for the Fratmen.
Yeah, and conveniently enough, that's usually the route that's done by Omar Hayes-Williams. And this time around, Benji goes from his slot all the way to the outside. So Brandon realizes that they've played deep quarters coverage, and he has to make one guy miss, and that's indeed the case. And he gets Devin Woods making an extra block as the Fratmen hurry to the line of scrimmage here.
And I do see Omar Hayes-Williams walking around. He's got the arm taped up. See if he does come back in. But this pass, again, intended for Degasse, but that's going to go out of bounds. Incomplete.
Oh, Brandon would like to have that one back. If he would have just put air underneath that one and left it right on the numbers, I bet you Benji could have easily sunk back to the inside. Instead, that got clearly out of bounds. And there was no chance for him to get that ball caught in bounds, as it's going to bring up a second and long now for the Fratmen.
The winner of this game, as mentioned at the top of our broadcast, will host the National Championship Final. They will play either Saskatoon or I believe it's Vancouver Island.
Yes, sir.
Who play later on today, actually. A long hitch pass thrown over to Marcus Williams-Cooper, goes complete, and they're in the neighborhood of first down yardage needed. Maybe a yard short here, but
they need a yard, and I'm assuming the offense is just going to stay on, and they're going to try to wedge this forward. But he got hit. Brandon Riem got hit, and it looked like it was number 55 who came through, Ty Kelly, who got a shot on him, as you see the Fratmen lining up to wedge forward.
And Riem's going to run it right. He gets the blocks. He's still up. Riem now going to turn it upfield, and he'll end up out of bounds. What an athlete, Brandon Riem. My, oh my, is he smooth.
Yeah, so much for a quarterback sneak moving forward.
Yes.
He stepped to the right and realized.
Sneak.
Yeah, I've coached wedge. It's like the first play you try to install early on, but he just says, you know what, I'm going to run away from everybody. And he is such a tremendous smooth athlete that he easily gets all the way around the sideline and picks up 15 yards.
A huge first down for the Fratmen, has the ball down to the Hurricanes' 22-yard line. A good response here by Windsor. Riem's going to keep this one right up the middle that time.
Yeah.
He gets across the 15 down to about the 13, so he picks up about 9 there.
Straight quarterback power. You're going to bring a lineman off the left to lead up the hole, and you're going to get a fullback who's going to lead inside. This is straight quarterback power. He had every intention to keep the ball himself right there. There's the pull, there's the insert, and the quarterback keeps him himself.
This is Jacoby Jones. He'll get the first down inside the 10 he goes. And it's a first and goal for the Fratmen as they try to extend their lead here.
What a tremendous run by Jacoby, who hit that hole violently. I mean, just violently. He is so hard to bring down when he hits that hole violently like that.
Fratmen in a little bit of a hurry-up offense here. Down to the Hurricanes' 6-yard line. There's Jones again. He gets inside the 5, maybe down to about the 2.
Yeah, and I bet you they're going to hustle up to the line of scrimmage right now and get Brandon under center, and they're just going to say, okay, Brandon, you got 3 quarterback sneaks already. Let's get you the 4th one right now, and just wouldn't be surprised if he wedges this thing forward himself.
Actually,
and that
they put
looks
the ball
like
on the 1-yard line. 2nd and goal. Here's Riem.
And that's easy.
Pushing it in. Touchdown! Fratmen, flag on the play, but Riem punches it in. We'll have to wait and see what the call is here.
Yeah, usually in goal line you're going to get a defender who tries to jump because you got nothing to lose. You're at the 1-yard line. They're going to wedge it forward. So it was probably an alignment issue, as we're going to get the call from Alex Jemmy right now.
Yeah, Jemmy making the call.
Offside on the defense. That penalty's declined.
Indeed, that is the call. Penalty decline. Touchdown, Fratmen stands. That makes it Windsor 30. The Hamilton Hurricanes 11-point after try coming up with 3:34 to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, well, that's 4 touchdowns. 4 on the ground, all from a yard. A plunge in for Brandon Riem.
That
didn't look very good, but
No, it curved, but it was in. Alex Jimmy put his finger. He did.
All right.
The head referee in Canada is the one who calls the extra points for any short field goals. So he did put his hand up. So the indication was it was a good for a single. Doesn't always have to look pretty. It just has to go through.
You're right. 31-11. The Fratmen now lead the Hurricanes with 3:34 to go here in the third quarter. Yes, we want to again thank our wonderful partner of presenting Fratmen football here on We-TV. For all your real estate needs, this is the man you want to talk to. Contact Harold Remark at Royal LePage, Binder Real Estate. He can take care of whatever it is you need as far as real estate goes. We certainly thank Harold for his continued support of Fratmen football on We-TV. And Harold is taking in the game today. He's going to be pretty excited to see his Fratmen win, if they do hang on here.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Harold's pretty passionate. He's as passionate as Coach Prency and LaChance, I'll tell you. Kick off here. This is going to be handled by Ivy at about the 15. He turns it up, making some moves, spins, and Fratman able to finally haul him in and take him down. But, boy, you could see Ivy has got some moves. Some of the fans here taking in the game. They're all bundled up, got the hot chocolate going. This is perfect football weather, that's for sure.
If you're a player, it is.
I think even for the fans, you always think
Offside.
of,
On the kicking team, 5-yard penalty,
football.
repeat the kick.
Come on, Bidi, you did it as a player.
Yeah, when I played, I never felt it.
Well,
I can't stand the cold.
coach, every player aspires to be playing in the fall here.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, 100
right,
in the fall in Texas. When it's 70 degrees and warm and yes.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we're all going to move to Texas now, Bidi, okay? But,
there was an offside, Dominic, another one.
Yeah, let's get back to the game here before we dig ourselves into a hole here. They're going to call us for an offside up here.
Sure will.
So, but, so that's why we're getting the kick done again here. This is going to be Ivy again, this time at about his 23. Ivy gets a block and met there after making a move by Keen Hernandez, number 35.
Yeah, that was a nice tackle in the open field. They still haven't been able to get their big man loose. Ivy has just been contained. And no, with all due respect to Angus Button, who has sort of been the target, he's not the same player. And the Fratmen are probably very content with letting Button have a big day as long as it's not one Ivy or two Andoran.
Yeah,
Adeniran.
and for the most part, they have been kept quiet here this afternoon. Fratmen with a 20-point lead as the third quarter winding down here. Just over 3 minutes to go. Marquette, 1st and 10. Pass caught to the gentleman that Badi just mentioned, number 29, Angus Button, who has been their primary target.
Yeah, you'll see on the replay, he just does a button hook, and he sits inside there and he catches it. Now, every time they've run the same sort of combination where they do the button hook, they always seem to wheel somebody up the sideline on a little out and up. I would not be surprised right now if you see number 23, that would be Emmett Putt doing some sort of wheel route to the top side of the field.
2nd and about 6 needed here. Here's Ivy taking that pass in. He's got the first down yardage needed and maybe a couple more to spare. He's finally taken down, and here now we have a little bit of jawing going on, actually.
Yeah, Ishmael Johnson was on his back, but he was ripping at that ball still. And you're trying to get to your best player, and you come up and you make the tackle, and that's what's going to happen. You're going to get 3 guys wrapped up there in the tackle, and you see Ishmael just pulling at that ball. I want that ball. I want that ball. And they're punching and fighting and saying things to each other at the bottom of the pile. That's always not very nice either.
Not wishing them a happy fall season, that's for sure.
Yes, that's for sure.
1st and 10 for the Hurricanes as they move the ball forward. Marquette looks over the middle, has a man wide open. There is a flag on the far side. That time, though, coming up with the reception is Emmett Putt.
Yeah, maybe they caught Putt or Button off sides. I don't know. We're going to have to get the call here.
Offside on the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Yeah.
There it is, Badi. 5-yard penalty. They're going to repeat first down, so 1st and 15 now for the Hurricanes. Ball spotted at the, it looks like the 40, we'll say the 43.5-yard line.
At first glance, it was Putt who looked like he was offside, so he can't blame anybody but himself for taking the yardage away from himself.
Hitch pass here. That finds Austin Wagner. I think that's his second reception of the day.
And that's a good first down play. You can't get it all back at once, so in this case scenario, you're going to pick up, about 8-9 yards, and that's going to bring up a 2nd down and 5, which is more than manageable. And at this point,
absolutely,
Jason Hayes has already shown he's going for it, so I'm guessing they have 2 downs from here to get it.
Yes. So we're going to call it 2nd and about 6. Or 5, actually, they say. Under a minute to go here in the third quarter. Marquette pumps. That pass knocked down, but caught off the deflection by number 2, David Anderan. What a heads-up play. That's like the immaculate reception, isn't it?
Yeah, that is just sheer luck. You'll see here on the replay, the Fratmen do a good job of getting their hands up and batting the ball down. Adeniran, who's supposed to be blocking, the ball obviously pops right up into his hands. Once it's tipped, anyone can touch it, so that could have been a lineman for all we care, but in this case, it's one of their better players who ends up getting a reception and a pickup of about 25, 30 yards.
Wow, what a huge play for the Hurricanes. Good heads-up play, though, by David Anderan. I should say Adeniran, I should say.
Yeah.
We have a little bit of a timeout here on the field. Not sure what is.
Yeah, it might be.
Oh, they got some fans. They're pushing some fans away from the field here.
Yeah, at any stadium in the or any field level at in the OFC, there are game day rules, sideline rules, and protocols, which include emergency routes and personnel, who's allowed and who's not allowed. No fans are allowed anywhere near the sidelines. So if somebody happened to work their way down and get close to the sideline, they could be doing nothing. They could just be standing there watching. Bottom line is they can't be on field level. They can't be down at the track level. And it's more so than anything, it's just for safety of everybody involved.
So that indeed is the case. Just taking care of some housework here. And I'm sure we'll get back to football in a moment.
Yeah.
We even get heckled up here, buddy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
17 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Fratmen are 17 seconds and 15 minutes away from an OFC title and a chance to host the Canadian Bowl in 2 weeks. That game will be played on November 11th, if indeed they are fortunate enough to get there. Marquette's pass knocked down as there was a couple of receivers in the neighborhood.
Yeah, that's clearly a problem, and there was only one defender in the neighborhood, so something was wrong there. You don't usually have 2 verticals right up the B-seam like that. So I don't know who's at fault here, but 2 guys right on top of each other, never a good idea. So it's just confusion. No one knows who's going to go get it. You're not going to be as aggressive going to the ball. So a mistake. You don't ever want to have a mistake as we embark on the last play of this quarter, especially when you're in the scoring zone.
2nd and 10 situation here for the Hurricanes, and as Badi mentioned, this will be the last play of the quarter, unless there is a penalty, of course. But Marquette going to air one out towards the end zone, and it's picked off by the Fratmen. Question is, was he in bounds? They're saying he did stay in bounds. That's Elijah Blythe, who was step for step with his man. He comes up with an outstanding interception.
Yeah, he pulled the receiver move there. He stacked the receiver. And by stacking the receiver, I mean he got in front of him and he was able to maintain his leverage on it. And that's just a poor effort to me if you're number 11 on the receivers. Like, you go play defense at that point in time. You realize the ball is over your head. You realize that there's a mismatch.
3 quarters in the books. A quick timeout here at Alumni Field. We come back. It's the 4th quarter, the OFC Championship game here on we-tv.ca.
I learn by doing. I learn by reacting to a situation. St. Clair puts me directly into my industry. I'm dealing with real patients, real life situations. It's not just theory. It's not book work anymore.
I choose to take control of my future and my path to St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
Good. It's all good. Thank you. I'll be good to go this week too. Counting down.
Welcome back to Alumni Field, the start of the fourth quarter. The Fratmen and Hurricanes vying for an OFC title. We got a flag on this play, the first play of the quarter. The Fratmen, of course, just coming up with an interception at the end of the third quarter, but that first play there from scrimmage with a flag. I'm not sure if I caught anything there, Badie. Badie Quas and Dominic Papa with you bringing you the game. Of course, a great crew here at WeTV as well.
Yeah, it's probably a hold. It looked like the play was designed to go inside, and D'Angelo Knox bounced it. We'll get the call right now.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Holding on the Fratmen, so they're going to repeat first down.
Yeah, my guess is it was probably the left tackle. It probably should have been some sort of inside run, and as soon as D'Angelo saw some dirty jersey in his way, he was just bouncing it on his own. The offensive linemen don't know where the running back's always going to go. There's a point of attack, but if the running back ad-libs, sometimes you're caught in no man's land and you end up having a hold.
Riem's pass goes right. Oh, that could have been picked off. That would have been dangerous, but he has. That's, again, number 29 who's playing both sides of the ball, Angus Button. He would have had 6, no problem with that interception if he makes it.
Huge miscommunication. And not to say that it's Benji's mistake to goose or not, but that's usually Omar Hayes-Williams' position, and Omar and Brandon have such great chemistry dating back to high school. They probably would have thrown that back shoulder and found it in a little bit better rhythm, but Omar Hayes-Williams is not in the game right now, so they have to adjust accordingly.
Second down and 20 to go for the Fratmen. They need a big play here as Riem on the run, looks downfield, gets the pass off as he gets to the scrimmage and takes a pretty good shot, but the pass goes incomplete. So the Hurricanes defense steps up big. Fratman will be forced to punt. Got to wonder if they're going to take a knee here, Biddy.
Knowing Coach LaChance and Coach Morency probably in his ear, no, because they don't want to give up points. But 18 or 20, I don't think is a noticeable difference. So I would be definitely okay if they opted to concede.
What if you were the coach?
I would be giving up the points here. I would probably tell my kicker to run to the back of the end zone, kill 10, 15, 20, as many seconds as you possibly can, and try to flip this field and make them go the length. They've had one real drive, and it was really a broken play. So make them earn everything.
As you can see, as our cameraman, everybody's trying to get on television today. Beaton stands in the end zone, and let's see what he does do here.
Yeah.
And he's going to run around and kill some time. And out of bounds he goes. So they do concede the points.
You take 10 seconds off, whatever the case may be. You give up those 2 points there, and then you're all set.
Well, I think we know one team that's on their way to the Canadian Championship game. At halftime, it's Saskatoon, the Hilltops, up 37-0 over Vancouver Island. As we take a look at some of the names on that trophy, the Hurricanes winning it last year in 2016. 52-21. You can see the year before that, though, 3 previous years, it was the Fratmen knocking off the Sooners and the Hurricanes twice in a row as they went on a 3-year streak of winning the OFC title. But Hamilton, Ottawa, and certainly the Fratmen have been dominant forces in the OFC. But yeah, Vancouver Island getting pounded by the Saskatoon Hilltops. So the Hilltops on their way to gaining a berth into the Canadian final. We may see them here in Windsor, Biddy.
We may, and there's about 13 minutes left if the Fratmen can hold on to this 18-point lead. As you see a quick little hook here to Ivy, And he does make one man miss, and he does get about 8 yards on the play here. It's going to bring up a second down and short.
Hilltop's one of the premier outfits in all of Canadian junior football, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty sad that they ended my playing career. My last year was a loss in the Canadian Bowl to the Saskatoon Hilltops.
That was in 1996. 96, was it?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yeah, the game was played at a neutral site. It was predetermined that year. It was the one year they did that, so it wasn't even in Windsor. We went to Oshawa to play that game.
Okay. Marquette. His pass goes complete, and just getting enough of his jersey there was Devin Woods, who's now playing on the defensive side of the ball. The pass, though, completed to Giovanni Ellis.
Yeah, and you'll see here on the replay, it's just a little hitch and then somebody slipping behind it. So they set up the hitch the previous play, and then they get the ball thrown out here, and it looked like there was about maybe a hair underthrown, or else he might have been able to walk that all the way into the end zone.
So the Hurricanes trying quickly to get back into this one as they're down 18 with just over 12 minutes to go here in the fourth and final quarter. 1st and 10 for the Hurricanes. They're at the Fratmen 34. Here's Marquette again. Looks over the middle. That pass, not sure who it was intended for, to be honest with you. You had number 29, Angus Button, going one way, and you had another receiver going. That ball was kind of thrown in between the two of them.
Yeah, and I think he was undecided. I think he might have wanted the wheel. He had Ivy doing the outside wheel route. I think he wanted to go there, but realized they took it away, and his body was wide open. You have to turn all your shoulders and hips to throw down the middle like that, and he was completely chest facing the middle of the field. You're never going to be able to get enough zip on it unless you're maybe Brett Favre.
2nd and 10 here for the Hurricanes. Marquette eludes one of the Fratmen. That ball up for grabs and picked off by Spencer Trenier of the Fratmen. Flag on the play.
That was tremendous concentration from everybody. There was 3 people who made a play. It looked like it was Dante Fornasario first, and then it looked like it was Devin Woods, and it ended up being Spencer Trenier here. So we'll see here on the replay, the undercut was indeed Fornasario, then Woods, and then Trenier comes up with the ball, and now he's down, and then there's the rough play. As soon as he's on it, there was the rough play. So it looks like they're probably going to catch Devin Woods.
Let's see what referee Jimmy has to say about it.
After the interception, we have unnecessary roughness on the defense. It's a 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
So they're calling it on the Fratmen, actually, Biddy.
Yeah, it looked like Devin Woods after the tackle came. It looked like Devin Woods took a little something with the fact that the lineman tried to make an extra hit on Spencer, and he knocked him down.
Well, most important part of all of that is that the Fratmen do come up with the ball, though, on the tip drill paying off. As there was, what, 3 tips there?
2 tips and the final pick.
Yeah. But the Fratmen starting at their own, looks like 2.5-yard line. So
here's where you have to rely on your offensive line.
Yep.
You just say, we're going to hand the ball off twice in a row, and if we can get a 1st down, we're saving points.
And indeed they do. Hand off to Knox, who can turn it up. Knox, again, looking. He's got the 1st down and then some. A nice run there by the Fratmen's D'Angelo Knox, who, again, looks so poised out there, Biddy.
Absolutely. And he just, it never looks like he's moving fast, yet he's always moving up the field here. So they're just trying to get outside, and they're able to set the edge, and he just gradually works his way up the field and says, well, I've already got 10, I've got 12, and I'm just going to keep working up the field. And he picks up, it looks like about 15 yards.
So a nice run there by Knox, and it gives the Fratmen some breathing room now as they move out to about their own 17 here. Jones fumbles that one, and the Hurricanes come up with a fumble recovery, a huge turnover.
And the one thing that Jacoby Jones very rarely does is put the ball down on the turf, and it looks like he's the one who's down. As you get this exchange here, he has it, and it was his own. He was just trying to sort of tuck it away, and it slid right down his chest. And it looks like he's looking or holding on to his left leg.
Hurricanes faithful that are here in Windsor liking that's for sure, as it keeps them alive in this game, down 31-13. Sean Haskett attending to Jacoby Jones.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's the first turnover by the Fratmen in today's contest.
Yes, it is. It is. And the Hurricanes certainly are appreciative of that. Some of the All-Stars from this year, a number of them playing in this game for the Fratmen, of course. Adam Slickboer, you mentioned him earlier, Badi. Just an outstanding year for Slickboer. Mike LaChance named Coach of the Year. The offensive line All-Stars, DeMarcus Ware and Mustafa Murray. Devin Woods receiving All-Star. D'Angelo Knox, again, of course, running back All-Star. Jacob Benson and Elijah Blythe, all on the OFC All-Star squads for this year. So a nice contingent of players. The one player you don't see there, though,
Brandon Ream.
Brandon Ream. And that has a lot of people scratching their head.
And right after a turnover, I could have bet anything that you're going to get a little bit of pressure dialed up from Coach Morency, and that's indeed what he does. He brings a linebacker into the equation, and that is just his recipe. We're going to get you try to get a quick turnover right back in our favor.
Absolutely. The Hurricane trying to take advantage of this great field position given to them as the ball is at the Fratmen 29-yard line. Second down, they still need 10 after getting nothing in that first attempt. Time becoming a little bit of a factor. Just over 9.5 to go. Hurricanes down 18 here. Marquette flushed out. No, he's going to go down as he's in the grips of a couple of Fratmen. And there's a late flag.
Yeah, and I think this is going to go against the Hurricanes. I think number 54 for the Hurricanes was unhappy with the fact that there was a pile down and a gentle throw down here. But you'll see here on the replay, they're going to get to him. No question about it. He's down. He's going to be in the grass. But all players are pushing here. All players are pushing. And at the top of the screen, you'll see 54. Two-hander, right in the back of Adam Chin.
Yeah, afterwards, you're right.
That's exactly what I saw.
Hit.
Yeah, so like maybe they're going to call one both ways, and as you see, Jacoby right now, he's already on crutches. He's walking it in.
Ouch. That's huge, Badi.
Yeah.
Especially if the Fratmen get to this championship game, and he's got a little bit of time to recover. Hopefully nothing too serious. Maybe that's all precautionary, but not looking good.
Unnecessary roughness, late hit. Hamilton, 15-yard penalty.
It is indeed. You called it, Badi. The hit afterwards.
Yeah, so now you have the sack. The down's going to count. It's going to move back 15 yards, and it's going to be third down and a million. You don't even have the option to go for it. Like, you can't be going for it. You can't be going for it.
Here's
right
where
now.
You punt the ball and try to get the Fratmen deep in their own zone.
I would say so. I would say you have to. I would say you have to do the punt. It's going to be third down. It's going to be third down and just a ton.
Yeah, the ball is marked all the way back into the Hamilton end of the field, but it looks like they're going to spot it at the Hurricanes' 53-yard line.
And they have to get all the way to the...
They were at the AKO 28-29.
Yeah, they have to get to the 19 for a first down. So this will be third down.
Coach Hayes is talking it over right now with head referee Alex Jemmy. He wants, I guess, another explanation. He's got concerns. Coach Morency is saying, I'm just going to stay here and coach.
Yeah, Coach Morency's telling his players, back up.
Back up, get
back
away
up.
from there.
Let them try to complete one for 10 yards.
While we have a chance again, we want to thank our presenting partner in Fratmen football here on we-tv.ca. Of course, a great contributor to our growth here at we-tv. For all your real estate needs, don't be afraid to get a hold of this man. He'll take good care of you. Harold Remark from Royal LePage Binder Real Estate, our presenting partner here of Fratmen football on we-tv. We certainly thank again Harold for his continued support and certainly his support not only here but in the entire sports community. He does remarkable things for everybody involved. So thank you to Harold.
We're going to get 10 more yards here, Dominic,
Wow.
and it's going to go up against Hamilton.
Hamilton just shooting themselves in the foot big
Yeah,
time here. But
the bench. Somebody said something, so you're going to get the call here from Alex Jemmy.
Objectionable conduct. Hamilton bench. Objectionable conduct.
Objectionable conduct on the Hamilton bench
Number
now.
3.
Wow.
Yeah, so now the bench gets their penalty, and we were doing our sponsor appreciation there, and Alex Jemmy picked up the flag, and he had thrown it, and then one of the Hamilton players caught it in midair and then threw it back down on the ground, which it wasn't noticed by anybody else, because that probably could have been a penalty as well.
Oh, geez. So Coach Hayes keeping the offense in, but he...
No, it's his punters out there.
Oh, that's his punter. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thought I saw a 3 on that jersey for a second there. This is Trenier. That's going to give the Fratmen outstanding field position after all of that. They'll take the ball over at their own, it looks like about their 46-yard line, I think they're going to spot it, or 47.
Yeah. And they dodged a bullet in terms of
Sure.
the turnover did not cost them a single point there. It may have cost them Jacoby. That's a different story, so we'll have to see what the status of his availability is moving forward if they win the game. We're probably ruling him out for the rest of this, the way it looked like on those crutches.
Oh, yeah, he's done for today, that's for sure.
You know, that said, the only thing that's going to cost the Fratmen this game right now are turnovers.
They certainly control their destiny at this point, Badi. With just over 9 minutes to go in this contest, they're that far away from winning an Ontario title and a berth to the national championship and hosting it. Riam's pass. Complete, outstanding as he finds Devin Woods, number 12. He's all the way down to the Hamilton 28.
And we haven't seen that throw since the first quarter. You got some fans who are watching on, and that was that B seam, just that go route. And again, the tall receiver, Devin Woods in there, he is definitely their best athlete across the board in terms of his jump ability and everything else. He goes, gets it at the high point, absorbs the hit, corrals the ball as the ball's going to be now spotted at the 28.
Outstanding play for the Fratmen now as they look to add to their lead here. 1st and 10 from the Hurricanes 28. Riam takes the snap, hands off to Knox. Knox slowly turns it upfield to the right, avoids a tackle, gets a couple of yards, maybe 3.
Yeah, that's straight ISO to the right. They have Damchuk in now as the lead blocker as opposed to Jacoby Jones. And D'Angelo works his way up the right sideline and continues to climb up the numbers until he gets about 3 yards. Well strung out by Hamilton, but at this point in time, Hamilton's probably not even thinking tackle. They're thinking ball, which is scary because that's when you can really break one open, but they have to go after the ball right now.
We'll call it 2nd and 7 as they do give Knox 3 on that one from the Hamilton 25. Brandon Riam, who's been outstanding here this afternoon. He tucks it under. He's got the first down and then some. Boy, has he been special today.
He sure has. And that was, again, another smart run. It was a design quarterback ISO, so he goes in. And then just as he's about to come into contact, he protects the ball, protects himself, goes down. And now you're seeing a little bit more chippy play. Like, you know, Hamilton's finding that they're just on the edge. And they are right now just sort of, they're not finding their way. They're not happy with the way things are going, so they got to keep their cool.
So the Fratmen move the ball down to the Hurricanes. It looks like they spotted at the 15-yard line. Clock continues to move, and as far as Coach LaChance and Coach Brentzy are concerned, it can't move fast enough. Now they finally stop it with 6:33 to go.
Yeah, and now there was an instant right there. The reason why the referees are huddling is they actually sent a player from each on-field to each sideline. Maybe they were both getting a little chippy, and they said, listen, we're just going to control this game right now. Each of you leave the field right now. We're not going to penalize you, but get off and get your cool.
Good call if that indeed is the case.
And now we're going to see that the head referee along with his umpire are going to probably walk to both benches. So you're going to see Coach LaChance, he's going to meet. Or he might be just asking how much more time or reset the clock to something.
Yeah, I think he is. I think he's adding some time onto the clock. He's indicating it to the
6:53 is what the
press box up here.
Yeah, 6:53. I think he wants to put.
Yeah, because the clock was moving. It was continuing on.
6, 5, 3, 3.
5, 3. Yeah, you're right.
6:53. Like that's not sign language. That's just numbers. 6, a 5, and a 3.
Yeah. So they're going to adjust the clock here before we get going again.
No, Mr. Jemmy does have his mic. He can just announce it and tell them.
There you go.
There you go.
But
0.
you're right. He does have his mic.
Yeah, he has.
Should have
his
taken
mic.
advantage of that.
We're just it's differentiated instruction. We're teaching different ways. Some are visual, some are auditory.
Well,
there's all kinds of different learners in this world.
When we gave Alex the mic today, he said you just have to flip the button when it's your call. So maybe he's just using it for that concern. Going to the end zone here, tipped and unable to haul it in as that pass looked like it was intended for Brendan McCraney. Maybe the first time thrown to him today.
It was, and this time here it's not a mismatch because Brendan McCraney's probably the smallest Fratman in the roster. He's the shortest one, and he tries to high point it, but that is the running back, number 2, David Adeniran, who was in coverage in the slot there, as it looks like the Hurricanes are really putting everyone on both sides of the ball.
Absolutely.
They're not giving up anything. They're trying everything to get back
they want
into
their
this
best
game.
athletes out there, I guess, Buddy, right now. Adeniran is definitely one of them, along with Ivy. We've watched Angus Butt, number 29, pretty much the whole game play both sides of the ball.
For sure.
He's still out there now on the defense, as he's marking up with Justin Grant, number 87 of the Fratmen. Riem looks left, gets the pass off. Flag on the play. The pass is completed to Marcus Williams Cooper. Cooper gets inside the 5 and he's taken down, but there is a flag on the play.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was D'Angelo or Brandon McCraney. I think one of them were offsides. One of the 3 receivers to Brandon's left. So this looks like it's going to push this thing back, but we'll see. Yeah, it is an indication. Here's the call.
Offside on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
So a break there for the Hurricanes. As we take a look at that play there.
Yeah, and it's a big penalty because he had first down. He just had to break the 5-yard line, and that replay clearly showed that Marcus was able to cross the 5-yard line. It would have been an and goal from the 4.
Here's Riem running, making some moves. Look at this guy, Riem. He's just so hard to take down. My, is he ever exciting.
He is, and with every step that happened there, Coach LaChance was like, go down, go down, go down,
Yes,
go
he
down,
was.
go down, go down. Because that's a lot of running for it to be third down and send your kicker. And a new rule that just came into all of football outside of pros. And you see, look at just Brandon, go down, don't take a shot, don't let big guy land on you, don't get an extra hit. He could have thrown that away anywhere. You do not have to be in or out of the pocket. As long as the ball gets past the line of scrimmage, he could have thrown that into the green grass anywhere, and he would have been back at the line of scrimmage, and they would have kicked anyway. But either way, he picked up a couple yards, didn't get hurt.
Here's the field goal attempt, the 22-yarder. That is up and through by Beaton. That makes the score the Windsor Fratmen 34, the Hamilton Hurricanes 13. They have that 3-score lead again, Badit. 3-touchdown lead again with 5:36 to go in this game.
And yeah, as Brandon was walking back to the bench here, I did notice he had blood on his non-throwing hand. So that is going to be, listen here, Brandon, no more of that. You don't want to have anything like that. Just make darn certain that you go down. With 5 minutes, 5.5 and counting here, the game you would assume, and you don't want to, we've seen crazy things, but you need everybody going forward.
Well, especially against this Fratmen defense, though, to score 3 touchdowns in 21 minutes would be quite a feat for any team. As Marquette's pass is complete. That time he found Christian Pizzuti, his first touch of the ball, touch of the ball in the game.
Yeah, like right now I'm looking back at the Fratmen defense and I see Woods, Trinier, Fornasario, and Blight, and Bonus, and they're all probably going to be anywhere from 7 to 15 yards off the ball and immediately bailing right off the get-go. So they're going to force them to dink and dunk. Time's going to be the issue.
Marquette, hitch pass over here, finds a dinner in. There's a flag on the play as that play comes to an end.
Horse collar, possibly.
Possibly, yeah.
It looked like Devin Woods reached out his hands and grabbed the inside part of the cuff of the jersey. And this is a lateral. This is not a pass because it was thrown behind him. So are they trying to set up some sort of throw off of that? But you'll see Devin Woods reach here, and he'll get to the collar, and that's exactly what it
Unnecessary
is.
roughness, horse collar on the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Actually, I think they call the face mask, but
yeah, no,
either way, it's a 15-yard penalty. And the Hurricanes now have the ball at the Fratmen 44-yard line. They need to score in a hurry here with 4:28 to go in the fourth quarter, down 21.
They got to score in a hurry, recover an onside kick, score in a hurry, and do it twice.
Yep. Ivy hauls in that pass, picks up about 7.
And at the end of the day, you're going to end up seeing Trey Ivy maybe have 8, 9 catches. A lot of them were all underneath routes, and he's going to have 80, 90, a decent day on paper, but he hasn't hit pay dirt, and he hasn't made him pay yet.
Marquette going towards the end zone, looking for Button. What a reception by number 29, Angus Button, for the Hurricanes. He's had an afternoon, I'll tell you.
He has, and that's a completion, and I'm shocked there wasn't a safety over the top to help that. Initially, Spencer was in play, as you see, an offensive lineman. It looks like it's their right tackle who is down. I can't get a number exactly, but it's in the 70s somewhere as the trainer's looking to him, so this is going to cause a pause in the action. And this is 77 or 75, something like that. Looking like he's looking at his elbow. Yeah, 75, and that is Kyle Erskine, that's it.
Take a look at some of the star players for Hamilton this year. David Indenoren, the running back all-star, Trey Ivy, of course, the receiver, Jake Marquette, guys we've been talking about, and their place kicker, Johnny Raquel, also on the all-star squad.
Well, this is 3-down territory. I would
oh, for sure.
Not calling it any kind of gamble here. It is what it is.
Yep. They have to get an IOU, instant offense, urgently, and they have to score urgently. Badi, they have to be desperate at this point. We have to get the clock adjusted here as they're adding time again. Looks like they want to put up 3:45. So we're just waiting for them to get it correctly on the scoreboard here.
Well, if I'm Coach Hayes, I mean, I'm just throwing 3 quick ones. Bang, 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 slants, hitches, stops, something quick into the end zone, 3 cracks, and hope one of them hits, and hope that at most a handful of seconds have left the clock. Try the onside kick. I do not believe anyone has used their timeouts in the second half yet, unlike early in the first half where teams are burning them at will.
But I think you're right, Biddy. I don't remember any timeouts being called. So they've got the clock fixed. 3:45 is up. And that is what's the time remaining from the Fratmen winning an OFC title.
Now, if I'm the Fratmen defensive line, I might not even consider rushing. I might just try to get my hands up quick.
Marquette, he avoids Slick Boar, and now he runs in. Touchdown, Hurricanes as they finally find the back end. And we have another Hurricane player injured as that touchdown is scored, but here's the play.
Oh, and Slickboard's just going to be disappointed in himself. He sunk down, and for the most part, he has just been double-teamed, and this time he wasn't, and he sank down as you see another offensive lineman who's down on the ground, face down. He's patting the turf. Not sure exactly what the injury is, but they're talking to him, and they're not moving him, so they're not. My guess is they might just be checking out his head or neck just for precautionary.
Well, the score right now is the Fratmen 34, the Hurricane 19. They, of course, have a point after try coming up. This does not look good, though, that's for sure, as they finally get him rolled over. You know what? We're going to take a timeout here, and when we come back after the break, we'll continue on with our coverage. This is the Ontario Football Conference Championship game on we-tv.ca.
Like our champions, we know what it takes to win. Every day we put on our uniforms and we strive to be the best. Ring after ring, we keep practicing until it becomes second nature. Our craftsmen have put in thousands of hours to master their trade. And when things get tough, we make the adjustments needed to stay on top. Baron Championship rings. This is who we are.
We know you're going to the same gym, and we know you're expecting different results.
This is your invitation to visit Club Attitude, Windsor's best-kept training secret. Individual, custom-designed fitness, specifically tailored for you. Clean, modern, well-equipped studio. Body, mind, and soul. Come on, make that change. It won't be scary.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
It's new, it's fresh, it's innovative, it's WeTV, Windsor Essex Television, and you can watch it anywhere. www.we-tv.ca is the place to be. If it's sports, entertainment, or community events, WeTV has what you're looking for. The people, places, and faces of our community are front and center on WeTV. Check out www.we-tv.ca for what's being webcast live. WeTV, we got you covered.
I learn by doing. I learn by reacting to a situation. St. Clair puts me directly into my industry. I'm dealing with real patients, real life situations. It's not just theory. It's not book work anymore. I choose to take control of my future and my path to St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
Yep. 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 Are you going over tonight? Or? No?
No. It's going to be, by the way, traffic.
Welcome back to Alumni Field here at the University of Windsor. It's the OFC title game here on we-tv.ca. Dominic Pop along with Badia Kwas, and there is the player that was just shaken up for the Hamilton Hurricanes, John DiBerardo. He looked pretty bad. It was good to see him walking like that even, because he was down in some pain. And glad to see that John is up on his own power. But the Fratmen just 3.5 minutes away basically from a OFC title, although the Hurricanes just scored. Now the point after is good. So that makes the score the Fratmen 34, the Hamilton Hurricanes 20. And no doubt, Badi, here we're going to see an onside kick.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. But some coaches do have a different philosophy. The clock always changes. It's different. If you think you can pin them deep and you think you can play defense and get a short field, with your 2 timeouts, you might do that. I would suspect it's an onside kick.
Well, they've been kicking short all day today, though.
True enough.
They've been kicking short all day today, so maybe we'll see one of those again. Just kind of a midfield kick type thing.
Yeah, so the number one thing we mentioned earlier is turnovers is the only way that the visitors are going to get back in. If Hamilton's going to get back in, they're going to need an onside kick. They're going to need a mistake by the Fratmen. They're going to still have to capitalize defensively, and they're all going to have to do that with 3:35 because that's all that's left. So it's a tall task, but anyone who's watched football at any level knows that anything can happen.
Absolutely, and there's enough talent on this Hamilton team to do something like that. So it looks like, yeah, we're going to go to the left here. Far left, and there it is, the onside-er. It's up. And the Hurricanes had their hands on it for a moment, but it looks like the Fratmen came up with it, but there is a flag on the play as well.
Yeah.
D'Angelo Knox actually came up with it, though.
Yeah, the Fratmen did get it, and I believe, and you'll see here on the replay, I believe you'll see some people hit right away. You cannot interfere with the ability to handle the ball. If somebody's catching it and you hit them, that's fine. And it looked like that was number 11 for the Fratmen, Prendunaha, who was just sitting there waiting to catch the ball. But it was a foul against the Hurricanes, so I think, and you'll see the call right here.
Interference on the receiver, on the kicking team. First down, White.
Yeah, see, in U.S. college football, pro football, high school football, the ball doesn't have to, the ball has to bounce. If not, a guy can just call for a fair catch. Well, we can't do that here in Canada, but you can't interfere with a guy trying to, and that's exactly what happened. The defender tried to interfere, which allowed for the possible recovery. Nonetheless, the Fratmen came up with it, so they're just going to take the ball where they came up with it anyway.
Absolutely. So, indeed, the Fratmen now control their own destiny here with the possession of the ball. They are looking to put on the finishing touches of an OFC championship here and a berth to the Canadian Championship in 2 weeks, which will be played November 11th, and it could be played right here at Alumni Field. Here's Riem, who has been nothing less than spectacular today.
He's got to be getting close to that 100 yards. Like, I mean, mind you, he's had about 4 or 5 pretty much designed runs and then a couple scrambles. But either way, with the 4 touchdowns added on, because he's accounted for all the majors on the field here, but he just got a first down. That was clearly a designed quarterback lead once again. I don't know if they're nursing something with D'Angelo as well, because D'Angelo is obviously the league's rushing leader and all-star, but he's spread out wide right now as the lone back in the backfield is number 28, Mitch Damchuk.
First down made there for the Fratmen. Again, they continue to move on. Under 3 minutes to go. That's how far away it is for the Fratmen to claim an OFC title. Riem steps back, looks downfield. He's going to air one out. Knox is in the area. Almost picked up. Knox is saying he was interfered, knocked down, and now he's going to be penalized.
Yeah, just don't say anything. You're winning. Just go back to the huddle. Don't comment. You don't need it. Now, there was a little bit of a problem here. I don't know why both Devin and D'Angelo ended up being on top of each other within about 3 yards here. There was no separation. Whether you think you were held or not here, there was some incidental contact, but to me, that's both players going for the ball. So all you got to do is you got to get out of there, and then instead, even if you say, "Are you kidding me?" You can't. Don't question it. Just get back in, because the down's going to count.
Yep, just leave it alone. You've got this game under control. Don't blow it. Don't give Hamilton any
on the offense.
Hopes
that penalty's declined.
Getting back into this.
Objectionable conduct on the offense. That's a 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Yeah, so they were actually called for holding there. That's going to be declined, because if they accept the holding and everything else goes away, it's going to be 1st and 20. But because it was an incomplete pass and there was an objectionable conduct after that, they can now say, well, we're going to decline the hold, take the play as an incompletion, and after the play, move you back 10 yards at 2nd down and 20. Which
first and 20.
Sorry, 1st and 20.
Yeah, 1st and 20.
No, the down counts though. It's second on the actually on the downs box.
Okay.
It is, so it is second, which is why they wanted that play to be.
All right.
And the clock stops too, Dominic, because of a penalty.
Yeah, there's nothing good about it, but you're right. I mean, just get away from anything. Here's Riem. he takes a late hit, and there's another flag right there.
And there's a flag, so let's see if they are going to call the late hit, because Brandon did go down into that sort of slide, gave himself up, and then there was a flag, and I'm just going to wait to see here on the replay. Brandon's coming out the outside here. He gets a block. He's going to start his slide, and then he was hit.
That's
close. I don't know if that was a late hit.
I wonder if the flag was thrown for some other reason, perhaps.
It could have been, because that did not look like a late hit to me.
No,
so I'm okay with that, but we're going to get the call here.
Referee Alex Jemmy getting the explanations.
Unnecessary roughness on the defense, head tackle. That's a 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
They're calling it.
Okay, they called the head tackle. I heard him say head tackle, which meant when he brought him down, he wrapped him up and he got his hands around his head, which regardless of the yardage, it's an automatic first down. So that's the key there for the Fratmen. They dodge a bullet because their objectionable conduct gets washed by a head tackle.
Fans bundled up here for sure. Very cool fall day here in southwestern Ontario.
Well,
very, very hot on the field, though.
It is, but I would just be turning and handing the ball off. I do not want Brandon Riem to get. No, there you go. Give it a damn chuck. 2 hands on the ball, kid. 2 hands on the ball as he breaks through and picks up about 11.
That's Mitch Demchuk, his first touch of the game, and he does a nice job picking up 11 yards, a first down for the Fratmen as they continue to control the ball here and try to chew up that clock as much as possible. 2:22 to go here in the fourth quarter, I should say. Boy, third quarter. I think I'd have the AKO coaching staff up here.
Oh, yeah. They do not want you to add 15 minutes to this game right now.
Ball at the Hurricanes' 25-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Fratmen. Here's Damchuk again. Stopped right at the line, maybe even a yard back.
Another flag on the play. I think it was D'Angelo offside again. It looked like he crossed the line. His timing with the snap is a little off as he released out to the right slot.
So let's see what the call is here from referee Alex Jemmy.
Offside on the offense. That penalty's declined. 2nd down.
Penalty declined, 2nd down.
Yeah, see, the problem with that play there is I know you don't want to give them the down, but if you accept the penalty, the clock stops. Now that it's 2nd down, they lost the down, but the clock's going to run, so there's going to go 20 seconds, and I'm not sure. I might have wanted the 20 seconds. And I'm going to take you guys through here to the finish of this game. Brandon just going on a lead to his right. Works his way up the right sideline. He's going to try to get out of bounds. He turns it up the field, reaches for the first down, doesn't take a hit. Looks like he came up just a little bit short, but he got out of bounds. That's a little bit of a mistake. You don't want to get out of bounds here. Probably, if you're not going to get the first down, probably would have started my hook slide around now to make sure I stayed in bounds. You have a 3rd down and 2. It doesn't look like the Fratmen have any inclination to kick a field goal here. But the clock is stopped. I would have maybe even considered kicking a field goal. If you trust your guy, you're going to try to kick about a 24-yarder, and at 17 points, that's a 3-score game. That makes it virtually impossible. Not that they're not stacked against them, but I might have considered a field goal here. Either way, inside run, just the lead. Brandon's going to try to push his way forward. It doesn't look like he's made it as the ball was stripped out. And based on the initial spot that I see, it's probably a half-yard short. And both teams have already conceded it's a half-yard short as they bring out the Fratmen defense and the Hurricane offense. So with 1:29 left in the Ontario Football Conference Championship, you have the Fratmen leading 34-20 with 1:29 on the official scoreboard clock, and the Hurricanes are here to take over. And there's a picture of Jacoby Jones, who is now just back on his crutches, and he's working his way back into the change room, but it looked like he was already out of his shoulder pads there. And the Fratmen here are just going to try to play, hey, bend, don't break. Let them throw these little hitches, and there you go. There's a batted ball. You know if they're going to throw quick, get your hands up, D-line. So that's the third or fourth one we've seen now in the second half. If you remember earlier, one was batted up right into the running back's hand. Adeniran just picked it up and went for 20 yards. But with under a minute and a half left in the game, the D-line is probably not necessarily going to have to get any kind of crazy rush. Just get in the throwing lanes, bat some balls down. Secondary's going to play. Everyone's going to play loose. You can catch anything inside of 20 yards for all they care. Low snap, quick throw to the right. You got to come up and make that tackle, and that looked like that was Tarek Bonus who came up just short of making the initial tackle. But the ball is only moved forward about 7 yards, and that's going to bring up a third down and about 3. As the ball's going to be marked at the 23-yard line, and they got to get it to the 31 as the Hurricanes hurry to the line of scrimmage with a minute 19 and the clock about to be blown in and counting now. Quick little hitch, fake, draw back inside. That's just a first down type play, and the Fratmen are more than happy with giving up the 12 yards they got there, because they still have to manage to go another 70 yards before they get into the end zone, still get the convert, get an onside kick, and do this all with a minute 10 and counting. Quick hitch again to the right. Receiver catches the ball but does not get out of bounds, but that looked like it was a face mask. So we got a flag on the plate. And that's number 8, Christian Pizzuti, who caught the ball. So it looks like this is going to move up 15 yards, give them a first down, and it's going to stop the clock. Here's the call from Alex Jemmy.
Unnecessary roughness, face mask on the offense.
Oh, excuse me, on the offense. So that must have been the receiver Pizzuti who reached out and clutched the face mask. So let's see here on the stiff arm if he did indeed do that. Yes, he did. He got his fingers curled into the face mask. The palm has to stay open, and the fingers can't grasp at all. And that was Chris Patton with the flag, and there you go. So what's going to end up happening is they're going to apply it from the end of the run, move it back 15, and it's going to be second down. They had two options. They could have went back to the line of scrimmage, moved back 15, and it would have been first down all over again, accept the play, second down, and move it back 15. So that's the option that you want for sure, because they only got about 5 yards on the play. That's going to be second down and 20, which is a tall task with a minute 1 left in this OFC final, as the winner here is going to host the Canadian Bowl in just under 2 weeks' time. And we get a completed pass as the little hitch bounced right off the intended receiver, Giovanni Ellis's chest, and falls to no avail, as this is going to bring up a third down with 55 seconds left in this game, and a third down and forever. And it looks more and more that the national championship game is coming back to Windsor, Ontario, as the Saskatoon Hilltops look like the likely combative opponent, as they had a 37-0 lead over the Vancouver Island Raiders, and that was a halftime score. Marquette pumps, comes back to the underneath route, and that is again Ellis who catches the ball well short of the first down, and that should put it down as a final. With under 50 seconds left, the Fratmen get the ball back, and unless Hamilton opts to use its timeouts, they can probably run this clock and just take knees, as Brandon Riem and the offense take the field for what looks like one last time here for the conference championship, coming back to Windsor for the presentation of the Teddy Morris Trophy. And Alex Jemmy's just talking to the referee, and then there it is. He has just signaled it. He is just going to let this go off to the sidelines, and that is it. And there you go. They're just going to run this clock, and here you have it, ladies and gentlemen, with the score of 34-20, the home Windsor AKO Fratmen are the 2017 Ontario Football Conference champions. And they are going to play host to the winner of the Saskatoon Hilltop Vancouver Island Raiders game, and that is going to be on November 11th on Remembrance Day here in Windsor, Ontario. Stay tuned for our post-game report as I'm going to head down to field level and meet up with Dominic to wrap things up. Congratulations to the Windsor Fratmen 2017 Ontario Football Conference champions.
Like our champions, we know what it takes to win. Every day we put on our uniforms and we strive to be the best. Ring after ring, we keep practicing until it becomes second nature. Our craftsmen have put in thousands of hours to master their trade. And when things get tough, we make the adjustments needed to stay on top. Baron Championship rings. This is who we are.
We know you're going to the same gym, and we know you're expecting different results.
This is your invitation to visit Club Attitude, Windsor's best-kept training secret. Individual, custom-designed fitness, specifically tailored for you. Clean, modern, well-equipped studio. Body, mind, and soul. Come on, make that change. It won't be scary.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Mr. Paul Barlow. Let's try it one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Mr. Paul Barlow, past president. He's carrying to the field the Kenny Morris Memorial Trophy.
All right, we're celebrating a championship here on Alumni Field. The Windsor Fratmen victorious over the Hamilton Hurricanes. They get a berth into the Canadian final on November 11th. They'll play right here at Alumni Field. Game time will be at 1 p.m. More than likely it'll be the Saskatoon Hilltops. Paul Bartle, the past president, is going to present some hardware to head coach Mike Lachance.
Mike? It is.
All right, Ivan, how
Let
long
me
are
get
you?
All right. Congratulations to AKO and all the best in 2 weeks. Great game and enjoy.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, just a reminder, Saturday, November 11th, 1 o'clock, right here at Alumni Field. Say it with me, let's go, Fratmen!
How sweet is this one, Coach Morency, to win it here at home, owning the team, and now getting to host the Canadian Bowl?
It's a big time for us. We got a lot of work to do. We got one hurdle out of the way now, a real big hurdle. 2 weeks. Looks like we got a great football team coming in here. We're going to have to be a lot better than we were today. We're a little ragged today at times, and but you know what? You can't win if you don't get there. So we took care of the getting there part. Now we got a little bit of time to rest and rehabilitate, and we got to get ready for an extremely good football team coming in here on November 11th.
I can remember going back to week 1. You played the Edmonton Huskies. You were defeated in that game, and I remember you saying, we're going to get back to this, and we're going to get to that Canadian Bowl. You believed in this team right from the get-go.
Yeah, it's something about this team. They got great resiliency, and they're a bunch of great kids, and they hustle, and they know we're going to be okay. And when we think we're not in real good shape, we end up being in good shape. So, you know, it's a good team that's never going to give up, never going to get let down, and they're going to get it done. We're looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Coach LaChance and yourself, the coaching staff, how special is this group, man?
It's big because, you know, we were really upset we got beat last year, and we went out and got some big guys picking up Spencer Trinian, picking up Devin Woods, and made a huge difference to our team, one on offense and one on defense, and a host of other kids. Yeah, have done a great job, and we got to give some thanks to Brandon Ray, and what a year, man. And you tell me he's not the all-star quarterback. If you don't think he is, you're nuts, and you're not paying attention. Jake Marquette's a nice kid, not taking nothing away from him, but our guy is the MVP. Case closed.
Absolutely, and we brought that up in the broadcast actually because we're all scratching our head up there. And again, I do think Jake Marquette's a great athlete.
He's a great kid.
But boy, Brandon Riem was just on fire today.
Brandon Riem is the MVP. That's
yeah,
what it is.
absolutely. I want to get Coach LaChance in here. Congratulations, Mike. Coach LaChance, if I can grab you here, I need you. So let's can of pop. That's all. It's okay. You're allowed to have one of those right now. First of all, congratulations. How good to get this thing back. How good to get your hands on that Teddy Morris Trophy.
It felt good. You know, it was a long year without it. Hamilton beat us last year, deservingly so. They have a great team. But, you know, I thought we were the better team. And I talked to you yesterday about that briefly, that if we just played within ourselves, that we were the better team. And it showed today, I think.
Brandon Riem. Boy, oh boy, this kid was special today, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was awesome. You know what? He's had an awesome year. He deserved to be the all-conference quarterback. I think he's an all-Canadian MVP type of kid. And it didn't work out that way, but he's the champ, and that's even better.
The rest of the team, though, let's give credit to this entire team. This was a team effort. This was a great team, this Hamilton team. Where was this game won and lost today? Won today, I should say, Mike.
Well, you know what? Your big players are going to play big. You got guys like Devin Woods that's going to play huge. I mean, he certainly did today. He didn't disappoint. But on the other side of it, Benji DeGoose really stepped up today, caught a couple huge passes early in that game and really blew things open. I think that's when you get guys that are not so much role players, but the guys that are afterthoughts sometimes in the game plan, step up and make big plays, you win big championships.
You're going to celebrate tonight, and I know you're going to get right back at it tomorrow, though, aren't you?
Yeah, we'll be watching film tomorrow. Coach Morency and I will put a game plan together with the coaching staff, and we'll get back to it on Tuesday with the boys. So,
enjoy, Mike.
Awesome.
Congratulations. Brandon Riem. I got Brandon Riem right here. Wow.
Yeah, we made it happen. We think it could be a little more pretty, but when you go against a rival like that, you know the game's going to get grimy, and it's going to come down to who wants it more and who's willing to get more physical, and we got the job done today.
I know you're a team guy, Brandon, but was there a little bit of a personal exclamation made today by yourself with the 4 touchdowns, things like that? Did you want to kind of send a little message there?
Absolutely. Like I said earlier, it didn't bug me so much in the fact that I didn't get the All-Star. It was a little bit of, it just lit an extra fire inside of me, and it made me want it even more. So it just made me put the extra hours of film, and like I said before, doing extra push-ups before bed, and it's just been engraved in my mind, and I needed to come make a statement. Our team needed to come make a statement, and we got it done today.
Yeah, absolutely. The fact that it was Hamilton as well, again, here's a team that, put a pretty good beating on you guys last year. You watched last year this team get beat, and it was a mission right from day one. Fair to say that, Brandon, that right when you took over the helm of this offense, that you made it the goal here to win this Teddy Morris Trophy again.
Absolutely. It was the mission from the time last year's game. The clock hit 0, and I told all the guys on the team last year that graduated, I said, I got your back. I'm going to work extra hard in the offseason. I'm going to make sure that this team is at its best, and we're going to bring Teddy home this year. And me and the rest of the team, we came through and delivered.
You've got 2 weeks now to get ready for another very special game.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'd like to go back right out tomorrow and play again, right?
Yeah, I would. I mean, be a little banged up after this one. I might be a little sore. So we'll ice up. We'll celebrate it tonight. We'll enjoy it. And I'll be watching film tomorrow. And November 11th, we'll be ready to go.
All right, congrats, Brandon.
Thank you
Job
very
well
much.
done.
Appreciate it.
Great player. Let's get our color commentator, Madi. This is a special bunch right here.
It is. They are committed. They were dedicated from like Brandon just said, from the last game of the season last year to this. It's a culmination, and now the cherry on top is the opportunity to play for the national championship. So they get one more time to come out because many of them are graduating this year. So good on them to complete the OFC job and now represent the Ontario Football Conference and this proud football community in the national championship on November 11th.
All right, Badi, we'll look forward to your call in a couple of weeks. You're an all-star and a champion. We really appreciate your help. That's the story here from Alumni Field. The Fratmen claim the OFC title. They knock off the Hamilton Hurricane 34-20. As mentioned, the championship game, the Canadian Bowl, takes place here on Saturday, November 11th. 1 p.m. will be kickoff time. Of course, we'll have all the action for you with a pregame show starting probably a half hour before to give you a good setup of what this game's going to be all about. But, Badi, thank you for your work. Thank you to the WeTV crew here. Outstanding job. Until a couple of weeks, this is Dominic Papa wishing you a great day. Congratulations to the Windsor Fratmen, All Ontario Football Conference champions for 2017. Take care, everybody.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.